knows nothing, can understand nothing. Plunge deeper into the darkness, and your heart will grow even stronger.
Good tidings, everybody, and welcome to the Ansem Report podcast. This is episode number 96, which is an inverse of 69. But you won't be getting any weird shit from us today on the longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast in the universe. Frankly,
Omniverse.
It's undefeated. Frankly,
Stays undefeated.
it's sanctioned, but a little unsanctioned too.
We do some
just a little bit.
unsanctioned shit.
Anyway, I'm Mike, and with me as always is my brother, Jason. Hello, Jason. And we have a very special surprise for you this week on the Ansem Report podcast, number 96. We have a special guest later in the show joining us for an interview and just all-round discussion. Is the biggest brain Kingdom Hearts content creator I know. Damo279 is joining us on the podcast, Jason.
He is?
Well, he has. We've already recorded it.
We already did it, yeah.
We already recorded it. It was a
Full
great
disclosure.
conversation. Another long one for you kids out there that are looking for more content. We got the content here on the Answer Report podcast. And we talked to Damo for a long time. We talk a little bit about him and his content creation. And then we talk a lot about Melody of Memory, the ending, and all kinds of stuff. If you haven't finished
Just
it yet.
deep lore.
If you haven't finished Melody of Memory yet and you don't want to be spoiled, we give a spoiler warning in the interview, so like you can stop there. You can still listen to the interview. We don't just like right out go Melody of Memory spoilers like from the get-go. So there's a good chunk you can listen to and then come back later once you beat Melody of Memory or want to be spoiled or whatever. Before we get to that though, Jason, even though it's very hype, we have a couple things we have to do first. And first of all, we have a new Apple podcast review.
Oh my god, a review on iTunes?
A review on iTunes. They don't call it iTunes anymore, I don't think. Do they?
I don't know, dude.
Apple Podcast.
I don't fucking use iTunes.
Honestly, I don't either. Actually, I use Apple Podcasts to listen to podcasts, but I don't use iTunes or Apple Music. That's what it's called now.
Apple Music, right.
Apple Music. But this...
Well, shout outs to everybody who does.
Shout out to everybody who does. Please review us. Like Billy the Kid Lawrence did. Now, Billy the Kid has been going around for a while now, catching up on the podcast. And I always know because people will leave comments on like older podcasts.
Oh,
Billy
yeah, as they go through them.
Billy the Kid has been leaving comment after comment after comment about different things.
Hell yeah.
And then I have to like go listen to the episode to remember what we talked about sometimes.
yeah,
to,
be like that.
To
Sometimes that happens on the podcast that just posted.
Yeah.
I won't remember.
So what was it that happened?
Diana said something on the top. Tatsu was talking about the bird box.
Oh yeah, and you didn't know what she was talking about.
What's going on?
What's a bird box? Okay, so this is from Billy the Kid Lawrence, shoutouts. And the title says, The Best Kingdom Hearts Podcast, in all caps, 5 stars.
Oh my god.
Whoo,
True.
Boy. Dark Road, Take Me Home Indeed. This podcast is purely satisfying perfection and a true light in the darkness. Not every podcast is able to capture the viewer's attention and keep it for an extensive period of time, but by golly, these beautiful sons of bitches have done it. They've solidified their show as the GOAT. And they are freaking hilarious. They are a freaking hilarious joy to listen to. From the Billy Zane levels of sexy voicing character files to the question of the week to the ever-growing enigma that is the Diet Dr. Pepper cream. You won't find yourself disappointed in binging every ounce of this heavenly program until you're caught up and can join in the present-day fun, be it on your own or, better yet, by interacting with everybody else. Join the Discord server and make new friends. We all could use a little more friendship, like Hayner Pence and Camel Toilette.
Oh my god.
What? Together, well, I just said Olette because it's so natural, but they're the Camel Toilette. Together, we'll one day see justice for the likes of Phil, Dylan, Alias, and their moments of silence. Bask in wonder and awe as they try to wrap their heads around things like the Sleeping Realm theory, which is totally real, their questionable tier list, Space Paranoids is S tier, you fools, and of course, why one of their birth dates relates to Mickey Mouse, that rat bastard.
Oh my god.
If you don't like the Koopo coin, no sweat. They won't take it out on you that much unless you're HMK. Just don't be on that bullshit when you express your thoughts. I mean, the hosts, Michael and Jason, are on that bullshit, but in a good way. So don't be on that bullshit in a bullshit way. Got it? Be excellent to each other. Let's be real. Are you even doing anything of note right now besides reading the stunning review? Are you bored as heck looking for a good time? Forget the strip club. That shit's probably closed anyway right now. Thanks a lot, Corona. The virus, not the kingdom or the beer. Take some time out of your day and leave your input in the appropriate channels on Discord, and then have your voice heard on the podcast by answering questions. Also by leaving a review here as well. Your opinion matters, even if it stinks like all the buttholes out there.
Oh.
If you haven't yet listened to the episodes, I implore you to become enlightened with the sweet nectar that is their voices as your eardrums succumb to their ravishing vocal cords.
Oh my god!
I told you guys there wouldn't be any like weird bullshit
on the 96th
episode, but I don't know.
Apparently, it's been happening every week.
Look, it's 2020. Donald's still roasting everybody, and you ain't got shit to do. So spend that time wisely. Get some sea salt ice cream and hit that subscribe button. Don't drop that ice cream, though, or else we're all going to be on red alert. Trust me. Be smart like Goofy and do the right thing. If you can imagine this juicy entertainment beyond recognition, believe in it and dive in as you experience the Ansem Report podcast in all its thicky, animated, fictional, character-loving glory. If you don't believe me, just listen to this other satisfied customer, and he has extra reviews within reviews await you here.
Oh my god!
And the first review is, hot damn, the best fucking Kingdom Hearts podcast in the world, period, and Terra is an absolute gem. Please be excited, Tetsuya Nomura. Next one. Believe me now, it's a truly awe-inspiring and fun podcast that will open your eyes to everything you couldn't see in life before. You should do yourself a favor and check it out. May your heart be your guiding key. That was by Jiminy Cricket.
Oh no. Fuck
And,
that guy.
It says, P.S. Oh, and don't be a bitch. If you can't discern whether someone is joking about animated fictional characters or actually being a creep, then just get the hell out of here. As Pete would say, later, losers. And that was the end of the review. Thank you, Billy the Kid Lawrence, for that wonderful, wonderful trip.
Yeah, thank you.
That was it was pretty intense.
Yeah. No kidding, dude.
If you want to be like Billy the Kid, or if you want to be not like Billy the Kid and still leave an Apple podcast review, you can do that by going to Apple Podcast.
Do your own thing. Be you.
But if you're a Spotify listener, or if you're a podcatcher guy, or if you're a Stitcher girl, or whatever it might be, that's fine too. We just appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. The Apple reviews help us with the algorithm on Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts might be the most listened to podcast app, but it's not like the end all be all. So just
True.
You listening on Spotify or Stitcher or whatever it might be is super cool and perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Now, Jason,
Thank you.
we're going to do a short Dark Road segment because I know people would riot if we didn't do Dark Road. Brand new phone game, Mr. Nomura. Download BlueStacks and grind on your computer. Make some new friends. They all have big keys. They'll all be dead by the time we reach chapter 3. Dark Road, take me home to the place where I belong. Scarlet Coyote, Xehanort Mama, take me home. Dark Road. If I didn't get my hopes up for getting a cool Vanitas card,
Didn't grief yourself
and
again.
then getting absolutely destroyed by the Blue Aboos and Alice's.
Are they still giving out free gems?
Yeah. Wait till I tell you how many gems I have with like literally 0 playing. Literally.
Shit.
Literally. Oh, I'm down. Oh, it just updated, I think, actually.
Oh shit.
It's downloading. Oh god, it's down. Fuck. Okay.
Do we have some type of patch notes? What the fuck's going on?
Dude, I didn't prepare this. I forgot that it was. We don't normally record on Thursday. So December 7th, they added a new card, and it's Vanitas, and he's unmasked, which is kind of a spoiler.
I mean, let's be fucking.
But if you're
real.
playing Dark Road,
Yeah.
then you're trying to get fucked anyway. So who cares?
You're delusional.
You're
anyways.
delusional. So okay, let's see.
You're fucking delusional.
Okay, hold on. Let me check the present box just in case there's more. No, it's not.
Gimme.
Okay. I have 10,310 gems,
Oh,
and I barely have played. That's just me sitting.
that's not bad.
No. So Let's do my free draw and see if I get a blue boo, because that's blessed RNG. Oh, blue cards. Ugh. Okay, that's not great.
Oh, like the blue,
Like the deck of cards, like the Queen of Hearts soldiers. All right. I completed a mission for that though. What the? Oh, they gave me a charm for literally drawing a card. Okay, cool.
Draw one card.
Draw one card. Here's a charm, so you can grind. Okay, so there's Vanitas on the front. Let's do a draw. See if we get a good old Vanitas. Holy fuck, dude!
What do we get, dude?
That is 0 usable cards. So many Starlight
I just looked
Keyblades.
over, and saw like a bunch of Keyblades and some like red aboos.
And not even blue aboos, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all shot points. Let's do another one. The music that just started playing on Spotify got really intense.
If you guys haven't already, dude, the Cage 3 soundtrack is on Spotify, and it's
This
a
is
banger.
almost worse.
It's a banger.
So I got 2 usable cards.
Okay, what are they?
One's Waka and one's the
Wow.
Queen of Hearts.
Ah.
So, but 2 blue aboos.
Okay.
So I think that means this next pull is
it's going to be twice as good.
going to be twice as good.
Which is like, all right.
Which is
This is a terrible bowl.
Which is like I get Ariel or something. Okay, here we go.
Maybe Mushu.
Please. Oh my god, dude. This is so bad. This game is so bad. This game is so bad.
What's the damage?
So I got 4 cards that aren't just rainbow points, right?
Okay.
I got a Captain Hook.
Mm.
I got a Blue Rhapsody. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
My 6th Blue Rhapsody.
Okay.
I got my 9th Yellow Opera.
Okay.
And I got my 10th Alice in Wonderland.
That's a lot of damage.
I guess the good news is that next time I get an Alice in Wonderland, it will be shot points, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's
the last 9 should have been though.
Yeah, because she doesn't do anything. I mean, I guess I get the extra bonus stats for maxing her out. Oh, what do I get for that? Hold on. Wait, no. What?
Does she not have a 10?
I just got the max out for the Yellow Opera at 9. So you tell me I already got the max out for her and I can still get more of her? And it's not
What?
rainbow points?
What?
Hold on, where's this dumb bitch at? Alice, where's your... Did you take some shrooms or something? Where are you? Oh, it didn't... It already had given it to me, I guess?
What, it didn't turn into rainbow points?
Well, no, like it didn't pop for some reason because it says collect 10 HP plus 5. Wait, no, it says I have 11. What the? So it doesn't give me rainbow. So
Wait, Alice is just a grief card?
So Alice just literally is gonna grief me from the end till the end of time now.
What the fuck?
This is such a bad game. Don't play this.
That is terrible.
This is such a bad game.
It's so terrible.
Oh my god. Okay, let me look at the fucking shop, dude. Shit, I got 344. This is such a bad game.
What the fuck?
This is such a bad game.
Not like this. No.
Okay, so
no.
I have enough points to get some of the organizations.
We need Vanitas, dude.
But Vanitas is 480 points. He's in the KH3 Kairi Riku Sora level, 480.
We need to save, dude. We need a Vanitas.
We need a Vanitas.
Vanitas.
But I could get Zemnoose.
Zemnoose is pretty cool.
Or Halloween Sora.
Yeah, not on the same level.
Marluxia or Larxene or Shion. Or Sayax. Yeah, I'll save.
Yeah, you should probably save.
Holy shit, dude. I'm
10,000.
I was half joking about like how depressed this makes me. I'm so depressed after that. That is terrible. Good thing I didn't like do that and then go try to interview Damo because I would just been like, yeah, whatever, man.
Yo, what's up, Damo?
Whatever. Hey, Damo, how's it going?
They're
dude?
pretty cool.
How's it going, dude? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, you will hear the pre-recorded interview with 5-brained, the most wrinkled brain you could possibly find, Damo, where he not just smart. He's not just smart. He's just like He's the total package, dude.
He is. He is the total package.
He's
It's
a
true.
good-looking guy.
Yeah,
He's got that buttery smooth voice, that Australian accent.
Dude, when we were talking to him, it was probably cut out of the recording, obviously, but like when we were first like, hello, his voice was so loud and booming because we had the speaker turned up, but in my ears, I thought he was the voice of God.
Yeah, that's true. That is cut out, and that did happen. Also, a bird came to his window at one point and started tweeting at him like he's fucking Snow White or some shit. The man's just got it going on, okay?
Yeah.
And he makes great Kingdom Hearts content. Not people know him for Union Cross, but he's out here making like these theory videos and working on these different just, videos.
Excellent content,
dude. So go check him out. Go subscribe if you haven't. And if you're like, I'm not sure Damo's worth my subscription, after you listen to this interview, your mind will be changed, I promise you. So check that out. And then when that's done,
we won't be done.
We'll be coming back for the question of the week because we can't just not do the question of the week every time we have an interview. You know what I mean?
True.
Unless
true.
we could. Maybe we could. But we're not doing it this time. We got to plan it if we're going to do that. So we will be back with Damo, and then we'll see, the future versions of Mike and Jason that are talking to you right now. We'll see you guys after for the question of the week. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ansem Report podcast. And we have a very, very special guest with us today. A man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. You've gone to him for your Union Cross story, your Dark Road story, and everything around and in between. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Damo279 is here with us. Welcome, Damo.
Thanks, boys. My
Of
second
course,
favorite
man.
Mike and Jay on the internet. Thanks for having me.
The second
I'm kidding.
favorite.
I'm kidding.
I love it. Anyway, dude, first I got to say thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been a long time coming. Ever since we started having guests or even mentioned wanting to have guests, everybody has been like, when's Damo coming on? When's Damo coming on? When's Damo coming on? And at the time when we first started, I didn't really know you very well. So it was like, I don't know.
That was like scary, dude.
Yeah, I was like, big Mr. YouTuber Damo. He's not going to come on our podcast. But now here we are, and it's awesome. So thank you, man, for coming on.
No, man, you guys seem like I have a lot of fun all the time, and it's like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come and chat to you guys. Waste the audience's time for a couple hours.
Above all else, we like to have fun, yeah.
Yeah. At the
Above all
detriment of
else.
the podcast, we just have fun.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember early on when we started doing this podcast, I tasked Jason with doing this Union Cross segment because they're while we're not big Union Cross fans, me and him, there's a big segment of the Kingdom Hearts fandom that loves Union Cross, and they only like Union Cross, some of them. And so I said, hey, you should start playing Union Cross, and we can like kind of chronicle everything, but you got to do like a catch-up segment. And he's like, okay. And he came to me and said, hey, there's this guy Damo that I found on YouTube.
100% true story.
And he has like, I've looked for other people, but like they don't do it as well. He just explains things really well. He seems really cool too. And that was like probably 2 years ago now, right?
Oh yeah, easily.
So we started watching you for like Union Cross stuff. Even when we stopped doing the Union Cross stuff, whenever a new story update comes out, I go, okay, we got to see what Damo says about this. We got to see what, and even in our community, people go, hey, good thing Damo's playing Union Cross, so I don't have to, and things like that. How does it feel being the Union Cross man?
The sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
Literally, yeah, I get that a lot. I'm just like, oh, thank God someone's playing this game, and it's like, it's not that bad, but like, yeah, I mean, the ironic thing is like, it's probably as a game less popular than it's ever been, like,
For sure.
but it's better than it's ever been at the same time. Like, they legitimately the improvements made to it over the last, I think we're at like 5 years now, right?
Yeah.
Have literally made it like, I think, a pretty good mobile game. Like, you can get, I mean, I've done it like in Extreme Masochism, I've done a speedrun of it, like, because I just wanted to get to the new JP story content on a fresh account, or on my own account, I should say. And you don't have to pay to do anything. Like, I got to the, in one, what was it, like a 10-hour stretch, I think it was. I got from beginning to end in just one sitting. I'm professional. God. I don't know if you heard my phone notification.
Yeah, we heard it. That's okay.
I'm sure you did. But it's like, you don't have to pay to do anything if you don't want to. Like, yeah,
Right.
Of course, there's going to be like the ball and chain and the sort of like hooks to try and get you to spend money.
Yeah. Well, like the power creep, like is pretty crazy. So like all that early stuff is like you do one of the like pulls that you get with like some of the gems, and you can just like power through a ton of shit.
Blitz through absolutely any content. Correct. Yeah. I mean, exactly right. Like if you take the starting jewels they give you, you'll be completely powerful. Like there's literally nothing that would be able to. Well, I mean, apart from like the super strong content and the ranked stuff, then
like
you
the
won't be
new
able to compete
shit,
there. But yeah. But that's like any game, I guess. Like you shouldn't expect to be
Right.
the uber god powerful on day one. Like,
Well, and I think a lot of people that would get into Union Cross, they're not like, yo, I really want to do this endgame content. Their idea
Exactly.
is I want to get to the story, right?
exactly. Yeah. And that's all there. The biggest hurdle, in my opinion, is the grind that like lets you get to the new content. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's a grind. Like there's, it's like mission 400, I think, where the title screen for the game shows up, and there's almost nothing of any value before that. They finally let you skip a whole host of quests at a time. I guess that was like a year and a half ago now. Where
Yeah, I think that
you
was
can
around
literally
when I
just skip
played.
from cutscene to cutscene,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. It literally probably cuts the amount of quests you need to do by literally probably 60 to 70%, if
Yeah.
not more. Which in a game with 900 quests, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
And obviously you miss out on some rewards, but again, most people would just like, okay, well, I'd like to play all the Kingdom Hearts games. I'll give this one a chance, but it really does a good job of just scaring people away before they even get in the door. Where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, you've got your medals and your guilds and your cards and your percentages and your this and your special attack multipliers and your that and it's like there's chips and dales and sids and there's so many different like currencies and everything else, and they just expect you to know it all.
Yeah. That's been my experience because I've logged into Union Cross just to get gems or jewels for Dark Road, right?
Yeah.
And they just hit you with like 20 things. You got this and this and this and this and this,
100%.
this board and this thing. And I'm just like, what? There's like Dark Road. I started from the beginning. I understand all the systems.
Right.
I understand that Union Cross had like a similar like beginning
And that's exactly it. Yeah.
pretty bare bones. But like now I can't imagine jumping into Union Cross based on the way they treat you when you first log in, where it's just all this
dude.
stuff.
Yeah, heaven help you if you log in on like the 7th of a month, the 2nd of a month, I should say, because you're going to get like all the new stuff from the week and all the new stuff from the month, and you literally be there for 2 minutes going, okay.
Yeah. I
okay,
stopped
don't
going
care.
to
I
get
don't
the
know what
jewels.
this is.
I stopped for Dark Road. I was just like, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth the 100 jewels I'm gonna get.
That's mental. That's complete. I mean, but it's understandable, right? Like in that, I
Right.
think that's the biggest problem the game has. Is just that it just doesn't seem all that fun to play. Like it just seems like a chore.
I played a ton of I think Brave Exvius, I think it's what it's called, or something.
Mhm.
It's something similar to that. And it's the same type of game where you have your stars. You star up your, instead of it being like medals or whatever, you have just like actual like characters that you use.
Sure.
And they have the similar thing where it's like, oh, if you swipe to the right or whatever, it does like a super attack. You swipe up, it's like their super attack or something like that, right? So I was like, I knew a bunch of gotcha like elements, so it wasn't as scary to me. The main thing, and I remember like we talked about it, what really took me out of it was the fact that the global version was so far behind in the story.
Yeah.
Because I didn't mind the going through, you have your, and what's really cool, and one of the things that I've ragged on Dark Road about, especially like when I was playing it right at the beginning, is that there's so many different avenues for progression that you can go through to get stronger in Union Cross. And it's really cool. And you can kind of just get lost in one segment of it for quite a while. Like if you're just doing story missions, just boom, 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 boom. Like
Yeah.
you can get a lot of progression off of just that. There being so many in Union Cross, and then Dark Road coming out and having like
There's one. There's the
just
one.
one. Yeah, like you just auto farm. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
It was really jarring, but I think it's a pretty good game. It's just the fact that the story, to me, being delayed really sucks. And that's why we're grateful for you, dude.
It's the reason for my existence. No, it's the most frustrating thing to me is that, I mean, I don't know how familiar you guys are, but yeah, I mean, once upon a time, Union Cross was completely behind in all forms of content, in the new medals, in, absolutely everything. You get it 4 months behind. And then,
Jeez.
I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much here, but like I started covering, hey, don't buy any of the stuff because we can literally see the roadmap for what's coming in 4 months' time. So just save for this. And like, it wasn't just me doing it. There are plenty of other people too. But like, I would make videos where it was like, hey, here's literally categorically everything coming out over the next 4 months. So save for the one coming out in 2.5, save for the one coming out in 4. Don't buy anything until then. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, what if we just accelerated the content schedule for everything except the story, as if just to spite me? So,
oh my God.
So literally we get everything now within a few hours of the JP getting it for both versions of Union Cross.
Okay.
Except the story. The story is still that 4-month delay. It's like,
jeez.
So you could, I mean, to me, I figure that's got to be the harder part, right? It's literally reorganizing your entire meta and systematically making it so that we catch up. Except they can do that, and they can evidently drop Dark Road at practically the same time. But they are just choosing not to catch us up on the story. It's insane to me, because that's what surely so many people care about. And there's a bird outside my window. All right. Let me mute myself.
What I was going to say was that shows to me the fact that Dark Road is so on par story-wise with the Japanese version and the English version. The
global
version are on par, shows to me that, like what Nomura said about not caring as much about Dark Road, or that he doesn't think about Dark Road, like that's totally true, where Union Cross, the story to him is still of importance. And that's what it means to me, is that he's like, well, this can come out at the same time, but this is a little more important.
Yeah.
And it leads me to believe that we're going to get more and better story from that game than we were going to get from Dark Road, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I also think it's like, it was like really frustrating for me, because I'm like trying to like rationalize it, right? I'm like, okay, like it makes sense for them to do this in Japanese first, it's the fucking language of the company that
totally
makes
fine.
it, right?
Totally fine. Mm-hmm.
But like the localization is not the same. It's like, yeah, there's like a little bit that you would have to know to like not have like broken like English or whatever in or like mistranslation or whatever in it. But it's not like you're having like voice lines recorded and stuff like that. It's not the same process. So it's a little weird that it's not just delayed a little bit to get that just localized for everybody, and then just like delay the overall release instead of having it like 4 months.
Yeah,
behind.
4 months is
That's exactly it. 4 months is
crazy.
unacceptable. Like in the when we can literally have every and any spoiler revealed in 10 seconds after it comes out on Twitter. It's like, if anyone cares about the story, they are going to get spoiled. That's literally unavoidable. Like, what are you going to just go on a complete internet blackout of anything spoiler related for 4 months? Like, if you care at all about Union Cross and you follow it on the internet, you will know what happens. It's literally unavoidable.
Yeah, it's like as simple as just like, okay, screenshot on my phone, open Twitter, boom, everyone's spoiled.
If they're idiots like me that aren't streaming it and anything else, that you could, there's like obviously information shares itself rapidly. So like, especially anything hype is like, zoom, everyone know about this. So it's just wild to me, and I've gone back and forth thinking about like, okay, why, like literally why are they doing this? Because I've tried to reach out to the Square Enix reps and be like, look, I know obviously it's not you doing it, it's obviously not your decision, but like, can you just impress upon them that like this is insane? And if anything, I think it's hurting the overall story, because people start feeling disconnected. They hear the story secondhand, and then they go, well, that's that Union Cross thing, whatever, I'll catch up with it later. And
definitely.
Given how important it is to the overall series, I mean, I don't know, I guess we'll segue into this. Like, I think there's a huge contingent of the fan base that is just like, the story's just, it's dumb. Like, whatever, I'm just here for the gameplay now. Like, and I think Union Cross is partially responsible for that, because it's so hard to get into. It's so long. Like,
I agree that Union Cross is partly responsible, because one of the things you hear that type of person say is, what do you mean I got to play a mobile game in order to understand the story, right?
Yeah, it's unacceptable, yeah.
And before Union Cross, it was, man, I got to play a 3DS game, or I got to play a Game Boy Advance game, right? And so it's that hatred for that stuff is transferred just to like Union Cross and Dark Road now, because those are the mobile games now, not the 3DS or whatever.
And in a way, it's more accessible because more people have free smartphones, and it's free than have like a 3DS, right? But it's still very inaccessible in the fact that the story doesn't update.
Yeah, definitely.
It's insane that they obviously understand that, given that they're like, okay, this is literally the all-in-one package of Kingdom Hearts. You can buy this disc and up until the point, you can buy this one disc and have every piece of Kingdom Hearts content ever released. Oh, except the mobile game, which is 100% necessary going forward. and you need to play that too. And we just don't know what to do with that. So I don't know. Good luck.
We have a movie about it, but it doesn't cover the newer stuff. So it's kind of just the older, like the browser game, not the mobile game. And it's so...
I mean, even then, it's like covering part of the story from another side. It's not even really like...
Which is a really cool movie, but it doesn't... People like...
I love it.
People go into it going, this is going to explain everything I need to know about this, and it doesn't at all. I remember watching it the first time.
It's like the chapter 1 of the story.
Right. Not being initiated. I remember watching because, I lapsed on Kingdom Hearts for a little bit between 2 and 3. And I remember watching back cover with Jason, and he had seen it, and we were watching it, and I go, wait, that's all there is? I was like, wait, I thought this was going to explain more to me.
Didn't tell me anything, yeah. Which, I mean, that's a fair thing to just assume going in anyway, given that, okay, the first collection comes out, it has a day's recap, the second collection comes out, it has a RE-coded recap, and then you're like, oh, okay, I guess this will be the, in the third collection, this will be the mobile game recap, cool. And you get an hour of, the foretellers just having mood swings at each other, and you're like, what the hell, what? Is that what the game was?
Right, yeah.
And it's
I guess at that point, it kind of
it is, but it's not.
I was so confused about Union Cross after watching that because I didn't. And then eventually, when we started doing the podcast and Jason dove into it more, now I completely not completely understand because I don't think anybody completely understands. But I get the idea of what happened in Union Cross, but I really appreciate back cover for what it is because I think it's a really cool look into those foretellers that we're probably going to see more.
Oh yeah.
Especially Aced, my favorite dude. Well, just angry bear man.
Grumpy bear man, yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah, all the scenes where like they're in the room, like they're having their one-on-one with the masters and like their name is on there. Like those are like such iconic scenes and done really well. And it makes you want more for sure. Yeah. And so I hope that there's something that they do once all this Union Cross stuff is said and done in like a similar fashion, because I think a lot of people really liked it.
I feel like they're going to have to. I mean, and the cool thing is, I guess, they've already got the assets, right? Like, you've got an FMO model, you've got all the day breakdown stuff. Like, in terms of actually creating new content, surely that wouldn't be the biggest possible stretch to just set a bunch of cutscenes there. I think you've already got the hill, like the very first scene where the Master's talking to Ira. I'm assuming they can just make that the hill that overlooks day breakdown if it isn't already.
Right.
So, like, that's pretty much all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of the content of the game takes place on one of those two locations. So.
Yeah. In Union Cross, it's not like they're going every which place.
Well, when they are, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's like, the player characters in Candy Rush still. Who cares? It doesn't matter to anything. Even though that some of that Game Central Station stuff starts.
I think that might be important.
That starts getting important. I think
if we're getting to dubiously real worlds, that might be important.
All right, before we get on to all of the 5 brain stuff, we like to kind of introduce a different side of creators when we have them on the podcast the first time they're on with a couple different questions. And Damo, I want to figure out, when's the first time you remember interacting with something Kingdom Hearts, and what was it?
Okay. I guess the first time it ever entered my brain was when I guess I'm in either like late, we call it primary school. Well, I guess, what do you guys call it?
Elementary school?
So it's 7th grade, elementary school. There you go. That's
middle school. That'd probably be middle school.
Yeah.
7th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, somewhere about that age. And I see an ad for this game comes on, and I don't know at the time, but Simple and Clean is playing.
Okay.
There's all these Disney characters, and it's like, you gotta follow your heart to beat the darkness. Follow hearts and put the darkness play. And I'm like, this looks stupid. What is this garbage I'm seeing on my screen? The ad keeps playing over and over again. I'm trying to watch SpongeBob, and it keeps playing over and over again. I'm sick of this crap.
Dude.
And then, I don't know, like, I guess a few months later, my friend's like, hey, we're, I guess, going off for, like, school holidays, so we're probably not going to see many friends for a while. That's how it worked for me anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, you gotta check out this game. You gotta check out this PS2 game. And he just hands me Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm like, what is this? And it's got that platinum, that like really silver glowing cover art.
That like acrylic kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? And basically took it home and was just like completely obsessed, like immediately started playing it. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a problem for me. And here we are, over 10 years later. I've ruined my life basically making endless content about the game.
Shout outs to whoever that was.
Fuck you, Matt. Yeah, you ruined my life, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Matt, way to go, dude.
Dude, shout outs to Matt. He's a legend.
Yeah. Matt helped create the Damo we know and love today.
That's exactly right. Right.
What's really funny about that story is I expected it to go one way and you swerved me, because most people, when they talk about that Simple and Clean commercial, it's this like big hit of nostalgia, and they saw it and it was such a cool commercial, and you were like, what is this garbage? I'm trying to watch SpongeBob. So I think that's really funny that you had a different look on it, because most people will go, yeah, I saw the commercial and I had to play it, because I'm like that. I remember seeing the commercial and going, this is so cool. What is this song? This is Disney characters. This is, what the heck is this? And having to play it. But you were like, yeah, this is stupid. What is this? Stop playing this ad.
I guess because like, maybe in Australia, I don't have as strong of a connection to Disney as a lot of, I guess, Americans would.
Okay.
That makes sense.
We don't have, the parks scattered around. I mean, okay, especially like I'm over in the West, we have literally one quote unquote theme park which has like a roller coaster and the teacups on it. And that's it. And like a couple water slides. So I guess we just don't have a strong connection in general. Like we obviously, we are very familiar with Disney properties and stuff. And like we'd have all the like a lot of friends would have the VCRs of all the different movies when you go to their house as a kid, but not really. Like my parents didn't really have them for me, so I guess I just didn't have a huge connection with Disney at the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like you know of it.
We had the opposite of that in my house, where my aunt was every time a new Disney movie came out on VHS, she was buying us the movie and all that. So, right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. Because I if you would have asked me then, I wouldn't have said it was the Disney, because I was a little older, I think, than the target demographic. I was just like, there was just something cool about it. But it was probably a lot to do with the Disney and the nostalgia for those movies and stuff growing up. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Why did you start making Kingdom Hearts content, Demo? What got you into that?
Well, I guess I sort of realized that, I can. It's going to sound crazy. Like, I still do consume so much YouTube content. And I mean, eventually I found out, like, people make videos for Unit Cross. That's crazy. I guess I'll check them out. And I guess there were like a couple, 2 or 3 bigger names at the time making content. And I'd sort of see it and I'd be like, yeah, there's one guy's doing okay. One guy just seems to have, with respect, no idea what the hell's going on. And I'm like, well, that's wrong. And like, because I remember I just got burned by something. There was a medal that came out. And again, if someone had warned me, which it easily could have done, because there was a roadmap of like, hey, you need to save up X amount of jewels for this thing. Don't just waste them all the first chance you get. I would have been like, oh yeah, then I'll save up and I'll get this thing. And I was like, I could just do that. I could just be like the guy that says, hey, save for this. So I literally got a new phone and it had the YouTube gaming app on it. And I was like, huh. And there's a button there that just says start recording. And I go, huh. I hit the button and yeah, sure enough, it's like, select which game you want to play. You just click on, at the time, Kingdom Hearts Unchained key, and it pops open that window, and it pops open a little camera with your face on it, and I just started talking.
I remember seeing those, where like watching those old videos, because like when I like first found your channel and stuff, being like, oh, let me see like what this like started as, like going back and like, watching all of them, and like. Yeah, I could clearly see like the little window or whatever it pops up like on some Skype shit. Like,
it's literally, if you see that window, it's me holding the phone in my hand and trying to record the entire video in one take.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Which is such a far cry from my overly scripted stuff right now.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny about that is like, I've always had, your first answer to that was, well, I realized I could, and it's like. That's like such a huge moment for anybody, because I remember when I had that moment, I didn't like, watch a lot of YouTube at the time, and then my friend showed me this 5 Nights at Freddy's video, Markiplier video, and I was kind of obsessed with that for a minute, because like that's such a scary fucking game that exists, And then I started just watching more Markiplier, and then I started watching other people, and then I was like, I found people like Markiplier's great and all. I don't really watch him a lot these days, but I found some people where I was like, wait, like Markiplier, he has this really cool voice and all that, and he's a handsome dude and all that. But then I found some people where I was like, wait, this person does this? I could fucking do that. You know what I mean? And so I think there's that like realization that like okay, there's this guy that's doing a poor job of this. I can do that too. And I just think it's really funny when people have that realization and they're like cognitive of it, because I don't think everybody is. But I remember I'm not going to say the name of the person, but I saw a channel where I was like, wait, this guy's doing Let's Plays, I can do this. And I went and I got my computer and I got, blah, 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 and just started doing it. And my videos are absolutely terrible. They're still up on our YouTube channel. They're just bad.
Buried.
I played like Happy Wheels and like I didn't have money to buy a bunch of games, so I played some shitty Flash games and like they're terrible videos. I still have them up.
Like I said, I had always wanted to do. I mean, I jest a little bit, like, because again, once it's that perceived barrier to entry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that that huge mental block of like, no, it's impossible, because especially if you start watching more popular people, they've got the whole studio set up. They might have a team of people plus editors and everything else, and it just seems so impossible. But then you get started and you're like, I mean, you're gonna suck. That's inevitable. You're gonna be terrible when you first start out. Like, God, I mean, so ashamed. I mean, even my most popular video, I'm so ashamed of it. It's awful. Like, the audio quality is just god awful. The editing's probably crap. But I mean, it's like, I mean, how are you gonna get decent at it if you don't?
Right.
Start,
you got to start. Like if you don't start, you're never going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you guys got the same questions as well of just like, how'd you get started? And like, it's just like, you just start, I guess. Like,
you have to just do it. Even if you're going to be terrible. Like and a lot of people don't get that. And I see that a lot. Like I'm on Reddit quite a bit, and I used to be a member of like a Let's Play Reddit just where I would like lurk. And I see people all the time still post on it. Man, I posted this video a week ago. It's my first video, and it's got like 2 views. What the hell? And it's like, yeah, it's going to be not fun and bad at first, as far as like, you're not going to get a ton of recognition and your video quality isn't going to be good, but you keep doing it and you keep grinding and you get better and better. And that makes like, when you can look back and go, look at how bad this was and look at how good this is. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like,
for sure.
Sean is putting together for our 100th podcast, which is coming up. He's putting together like what the community's favorite clips are. It's really nice of him. He's a really cool dude for doing that.
Yeah, he just decided to do it.
I'm dreading it, listening to it on the 100th episode, because it's going to be like such bad takes for me and like just poor recording quality, and it's just I know it's going to be terrible.
I'm hoping it's more Mike than me.
It's definitely going to be more me, because I when we first started the podcast, I would say things to like, you definitely would. To like a lot of people like bring up HMK to me all the time, like I really hate HMK or something. But really, I would he's like a big target, so I would like make jokes.
He would make hot takes, and then
like, I'd attack, like not attack him, but I'd just be like, oh, that take sucks, HMK, da da da. Yeah. So like I would say things to get not attention, but like to get people talking about stuff, and so I know there's going to be some of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be like, oh, this is so cringy, I can't. Damo, not recently. I guess it was during the quarantine time, which everything seems recently during that time.
It's a flat circle.
You blew my mind with a video that you made, dude, where it had been long accepted that the Master of Masters was standing on the Square Enix building. Like that was someone said it, and they showed you a map, and they said this is it, and everybody was like,
"That's literally all it takes." And
everybody's like, "Yes, that's so cool." Whatever,
Case closed.
And then you make this video where you debunk it. And
not just debunk it, like piece by piece dismantle it.
Yeah. And I'm still
systematically.
I watched the video when it came out, and then I watched it again last night just to refresh, and I'm still shook by it, dude. What made you dive back into that and go over all that and figure that out?
I just go down these rabbit holes, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I was just like trying to explore Shibuya anyway. I was just like floating around and thinking like, well, that's where he's standing, and I think I can see that particular building in the background. I'm like, well, then that can't be the Square Enix building, can it? And I was like, okay, well, I guess we have the technology to find this out, so let's just go exploring. And I literally just set out for my own curiosity to find out where he was standing. It's like, okay, no worries. And I mean, I was probably talking to like Water at the time, or one of those guys. Was like, oh yeah, this is that. And then the fact that the building he was standing on was called like Hikarie, and I was like, like, it's probably not that big of a deal, but just the fact that I just like stumbled across it, and I was like, there's no friggin' way the Master of Masters was standing on a building named after like the light. There's no way that's true. I'm like, I must be.
Red flags.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, what blew my mind about it too is that that like it's a pretty faithful recreation of Shibuya that they're in the Yozora commercial that plays in
100%.
Toy Story World, right?
100%.
And they're on top of a building that wasn't even finished by the time Kingdom Hearts came out.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. That's
That
completely
blows,
insane.
and
Yeah.
like
It's so accurate. It's so accurate.
I was just like, what in the actual when you
like
said
they
that?
got the fucking blueprint for
I
this
assume.
building. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume. I don't know.
Oh,
Unless
man.
Lamora is a time traveler. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Oh my
It's
god.
possible,
Oh my
dude.
fucking god. Stop.
It's possible. And I don't want to talk. I don't want to give away the whole video because I want people listening to go watch the video.
Yes, please.
But man, some of the stuff that you bring up there is just five head. That's the only way to describe it, man. And it if you still okay, I know there's some of you sitting there crossing your arms, going, "No, he's on the Square Enix building. I know it." Just because one guy said it, no, go watch the video. And if you still feel that way, fine, after you watch the video. But I don't know how you would, because Damo presents some pretty compelling evidence that he is
and
not
like
on
we
the Square
wanted it to be the Square
Yes.
Enix building. Like you don't understand. Like I wanted it to be the Square Enix building. Just because like that's insane, right?
Right.
And all that like but I think also partially the fact that it's a building that's like the light or whatever also is just crazy as well.
Yes.
But it's not the same.
It's a different kind of crazy, but it is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I had assumed that for forever, and I was like literally just going past and thinking like, well, maybe it's not. I mean, it looks like it's here that he's standing, not all the way over in Shinjuku. It looks like he's standing right here, and I had just assumed that, because I mean, I do kind of think the Master of Masters is a pretty big Nomura analogy. Like,
Right.
I just assumed, yeah, he's definitely standing on the square building. Like, why wouldn't he be? That makes complete sense. And then it was like, oh, hang on, maybe he's not actually. I just think it's funny how information like disseminates through like Twitter and online discourse, and it's like, I read a post once, and evidently we saw the same information,
Yep.
and just it's now accepted as clear, stone cold fact that no, he's standing on the Square Enix building.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say. You just reminded me is that it was literally days after,
KH3 came out.
KH3 came out that people were saying that. And I remember we talk about it and even on one of our podcasts where we're looking at the Google Maps of it and going, yeah, look, that's where that building is, and that's where the Square Enix building is, and and we didn't even think of the fact that there's not a skyscraper next to that Square Enix building that like there is in the shot, and that blew my mind too. That building is the building that Yozora and his buddies and the nameless star or Stella or whatever we want to call her, that she's on that the building right next to the Masters.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's all together. And so, yeah. Anyway, guys, go check out that video by Damo when you can. It's a really good one. Go check out all Damo's videos because he's a five head and
He's the man, dude.
he has a lot of really smart things to say about Kingdom Hearts theories and Union Cross stuff. Before we just kind of we're gonna freeform just talk about Melody Memories ending in a minute because I know that's what people want us to talk about and that's what I want to talk about. But before we do that, we have this tradition when we have a guest on the show, Damo. I don't know if you're familiar, but we have the 13 questions as sponsored by Master Xanor and the Organization 13, where we're gonna ask you 13
Rapid fire questions. You have to
Rapid
answer
fire
them
questions.
as soon as you get the answer to your brain. You just let that's the first thing out that came into your brain.
No, it's not like that.
Mhm.
But we like to pretend it is. You can take your time and answer them. Just don't be like Water and have to Google your favorite Disney movie.
and then Google it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
because that's a no-no.
Despicable.
But are you ready to answer the 13 questions, Damo?
Can I Bing my answers instead?
You can Bing. Yeah, Bing's allowed.
Okay.
Or
right.
DuckDuckGo. Is that one?
DuckDuckGo it instead. Okay, you got it.
I'm sorry, what?
Isn't that a search website?
Is that
Search
se-
engine. Yeah.
Is that real?
I think it is.
What's the one that like plants trees? Use that one.
Yeah, there you go. Make it. I don't know what one that is, but
I don't know.
Good
I
cause.
know it exists.
All right, Damo. What is your favorite Kingdom Hearts game?
2.
2. My
Okay,
man.
okay.
My man.
We're rapid firing. It's literally
Yeah,
first
sorry.
thing that comes to
Number
mind,
2.
right? Yeah.
What is your favorite non-Kingdom Hearts game?
Ooh,
5,
Shit.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Looking to my left. Shit. That's Stranding. Sure.
Death Stranding?
Ooh,
I don't know.
That game freaked me out, dude. On so many
It's a freaky game.
times, man.
I only played a couple hours of it,
Yeah,
and I want to go back to it. But like, I think another game came out that I was more into or something. But
yeah.
that game's got some creepy levels of creepy bullshit in it. Favorite Kingdom Hearts character?
It's gotta be Sora, right? I don't know.
No, dude.
yeah.
That's exactly what Tatsu said, because it's like, it's Sora, man. He's our guy. He's who you control. He's such a nice boy. There's so many things about Sora that are likable, and I don't know why he gets so much hate. You know?
Yeah, he's not the smartest dude. Okay.
That's fine. He's smarter than Terra is.
He saves the world like 5 times.
Yeah.
I think it's the entire like thesis statement of the entire series, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's I don't know.
It's they're your friends are your power, and be kind to everybody you meet.
And I think what like really hammers it in too for like why he's really my favorite character is because like when you play BBS and he's just like little Sora, and Sora seems like he's not the main character, because it's like Terra looks at Riku and is like, yo, Riku, here's a Keyblade. And then
Right, yeah.
like it's kind of like everyone's just is glancing past this kid who's going to end up saving everybody else.
yeah.
So like that, like I love how they did that.
Yeah.
And then playing through them throughout the game. So it's just really good.
Just even the fact that you mentioned something tangentially related to blank points, I literally just felt all the hair stand up on the back of my on the back of my arm.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
such just that
Blank
end
points is
section
so
where they're all
good.
like saying Sora's name. It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh my
Sora.
god.
Sora.
It's too good.
All right, Damo. Best Kingdom Hearts waifu.
Ooh. Aqua? Is she the only one that's over 18? I don't know.
That's the best answer, my friend. You
Safe answer.
nailed it. You nailed it.
Kari's
You
grandmother.
passed. Officer, he's okay.
You guys can leave now.
Yeah. Favorite Disney movie?
Tarzan.
Ooh.
I've seen shockingly few.
Okay, at least you didn't have to Google it though.
That's true.
Tarzan is a good answer though.
Oh yeah.
Tarzan might be my secret favorite Disney movie, dude.
Also when he's like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh,
I felt
the best
that,
part.
dude.
That's
I
the
felt
best
that.
part.
I felt that.
The best part. What's your favorite Keyblade?
Enter the Earth.
Ooh,
I don't even know what that one is.
Jason.
Not
doesn't
gonna
even-
lie.
Terra, Lingering Will. Well, I guess
Oh.
relegated to Lingering Will now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
Like the first time you see that in the KH2 Secret Ending,
It's
And
a really
then-
cool Keyblade.
I don't know, man. Yeah, something about it just does it for me. I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's the
I
one.
just had like a crazy flashback to when we did trivia on the charity stream, and
yeah.
all those really like, how many Keyblades have eyes in them? And
Yeah,
I was like,
have the
curse,
seeing eye.
curse you, Damo. And of course, Shibuya Gato answered all of them correctly, like
Yeah.
instantly.
Well, and also like made you question it too. Like,
Right. We
I was
got
not prepared to be scrutinized like that.
we got set up in that trivia. That was a hard setup by
Yeah,
Mr.
dude.
BioRoxas.
yeah.
He set us up.
And then you guys stayed in our call. So like when you guys are talking to like the chat and stuff and like talking about stuff, we're like just distracted as shit. We're just
Yeah.
like whatever, dude.
We got set up hard, dude. Set up hard on that one.
It was so fun.
That was a good time though. What's your favorite Kingdom Hearts song?
Oh god.
Yeah, no, that's tough.
Somehow like the hardest of being like character
Jeez.
Keyblade.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So this is coming closest to Googling, but I can like Spotify my most recently like most played one. No, I'll just say I guess one of the Yozora ones at the end is probably current favorite, but that will change on an hourly basis of just like
Right.
That's fair.
whatever I'm currently listening to.
That's fair.
Man, the KH3 soundtrack on Spotify is so good.
It's so good. Like the
What a great
orchestral version of
collection of
Face My Fears.
songs.
Actually, yeah, screw that. Orchestral version of Face My Fears.
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
It might be the GOAT. It's so like there's so many good ones. It's unbelievable how good that soundtrack is. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude.
orchestral version of Face My Fears is amazing right now.
Dude, totally. And I've been listening to this like remix version of Face My Fears, like a fan made one. Shout out to my boy, Proper Artist. He's the boy. He was listening to this like remixed version of Face My Fears, and just like the whole beat and everything. It like they don't even really do. It's more of like a loop. Honestly, it's so freaking good.
Everybody check that out.
Check out Prop. He's a great guy.
Props, man.
What world that hasn't been used in Kingdom Hearts demo would you want in the next Kingdom Hearts game?
So Disney related.
It could be Square related too, if you really wanted to.
I guess this is the question, right? Yeah. But let's pretend that we haven't played Melody Memory yet. See, I'm out of my element because I literally don't know that many Disney properties. It's stupid to say, but like I'm just trying to think of a Pixar movie. Oh, Cars. Yeah, there you go. Cars.
Okay.
Cars. Hell yeah. Dude.
Okay.
Sora. Donald
I'm putting you on the
Goofy,
spot with this. Yeah, are they actually cars when they go into the world?
You gotta race the race. Yeah, that's it.
I think Goofy would be some kind of like van or like pickup truck or something.
He looked like the Mystery Inc. one.
The Scooby-Doo van?
Yeah.
The Mystery Machine?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Donald, change my tires. Sorry, buddy. I'm gonna cast fire instead.
Who's the best Xehanort, Damo?
I feel like it's, you're asking me a loaded question here.
Yeah, I am.
Rapid fire, my guy.
I like all of them. I like Xemnas. I like him. I like the two OGs, but I love Xemnas. The voice, shouts to Paul.
Yeah.
It's really funny because we had Tatsu on last and no one's answered Xemnas yet. And someone was like, why is nobody giving Xemnas any love? So I'm glad that Damo's giving the boy some love.
Champion of the people.
We love Xemnas.
You respect Billy Zane's performance. Like, it's it's classic.
His voice is so good.
So good.
If we could rename the podcast to the Xemnas Report podcast, we would. But that makes no sense. Okay, what's your favorite song to play in Melody of Memory?
It might be. I can't think of the name of it now. Young Xehanort's battle theme. I will never be able to think of the name. Yeah, sure. I believe you. But yeah.
Puerto Escurto. I'm sorry, everyone's triggered.
Yeah, one of our Discord members, shout out to, and one of our mods on Twitch, Wildcat Diana, she chastises me every time that I say it, and she'll like send me like voice clips of her saying it so I can say it right, and then I just ignore her because I'm bad at speaking.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diana, for being patient with me.
Maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
It's something like that. Sounds close enough. All right, so we got 3 questions left, Damo.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is our question of the week, because we do, we do the question of the week on the podcast. This one's a little weird. If you could give Goofy and Donald different classes, like right now they're a defender and a mage, for like the next version of Kingdom Hearts, what classic kind of D&D or Final Fantasy style class would you give each of them? You can take time to think of this one because it's a kind of an out there question.
I guess because Donald's like a red mage right now, right? Like if he can do offensive and defensive spells.
I think he's more of a black mage right now. But you're right, he can cure, which would normally be a white mage. A red mage, yeah, I guess he's a red mage because he can do all of it. I think that's right. Like
if we just go like full blown, like black, where he just gets like, I mean, Zeta Flare, but all of his spells are like that kind of like, well, not all of them, but you know what I mean? Like,
right.
He just gets access to crazy powerful magic, and it should far exceed Sora's. Like,
yeah.
One like the transformation, like the world order type stuff too. Like
See,
that doesn't really fit.
It's evidently all he's doing.
This is a weird conversation to have, but I would kind of argue that he's already a black mage that just happens to know cure.
That's a thing.
Fair.
That's a thing.
Because he knows like Duck Flare's an insane spell, Meteor's an insane spell, Zeta Flare obviously.
It's true.
I don't know.
I guess I was thinking like Arrow and Q. I'm thinking like I guess my KH1 mindset still, but by the end I suppose he really does have some tools in his tool belt.
Does he know stop in KH1? I don't remember. I think so. Just sort. Does he know it?
Does he? I'm pretty sure he gets everything Sora gets, right?
I know he gets Arrow. I don't remember if he gets stop or not. I know he doesn't have
He definitely
magnet
gets gravity.
into.
Yeah, he definitely gets gravity. He spams that shit.
I think in KH1 he gets everything Sora gets, but I'm doubting that. No,
I just can't picture him saying stop right now in my head. That's what's stopping me from.
That's slapping you.
I can hear him. I can hear him say everything else. I can't hear him say stop. Anyway, this doesn't matter.
Let me water KH real quick, and
everyone's just like kind of like looking up, like trying to think and remember.
Yeah, we're just like,
has he said stop?
All right, so you'd make him a more powerful black mage. What about Goof?
just got like full blown Dragoon with him or something, and just have him like constantly dropping down lances.
I get the feeling that's going to be Jason's answer too.
You already know.
Is full blown
You
Casaldan Dragoon ass.
Hey, dude, anyone who's been watching me play Final Fantasy 14, they already know. Dragoon, baby.
Man. Last two questions are kind of a little more serious questions. Number 12, what does being a member of the online Kingdom Hearts community mean to you?
Well, I mean, I guess it's I don't know, it's really insane that, especially over the last few months, you just get to hang out with really, really, really cool and fun people and just bounce ideas around, and I guess sort of get to maybe live out the idea of the series that, you know, you're meant to connect to different people all over the place and make cool friends and, yeah, experience stuff you wouldn't otherwise experience on your own. And I don't know, like, I like that you can just tweet out something and have instantly a few people be like, oh yeah, here's my idea to add to that, or I disagree entirely, and like, here's why. Like, on a good day, if you get like really cool thought out answers to, like, even if someone disagrees with you, it's like, cool, I love discussing stuff like this.
Right.
It's, you know, it's awesome having a network of people to connect with, I suppose.
Right.
So,
It does feel like it's a more recent development with this wave of like Kingdom Hearts like content creators, you know, coming around and we're all getting to know each other and we're all collaborating and doing really cool things, and it's been really awesome. I agree with that 100%. We were saying earlier when, like we said, one of the first people that like we were like, oh, there's this Damo guy and he's got, you know, this Union Cross stuff he does, and now we're sitting here just chatting, you know, that on the podcast, and we were chatting before, after we've done it, and so like it's really cool to see like this community coming even closer together than it was before, with all these like cool creators like Bio and Water and Tatsu and you know, even some of the older creators still like hanging around. Like, you know, I bust HMK's chops a lot, but you know, he's still doing it, you know, and it's just really cool to see that. Finally, what are your goals for the next year as a content creator, Damo?
Looking at 2021, thinking like I might want to do some more, like go back to university potentially. So,
Ooh.
Nice, man.
if I could still keep the channel alive at the same time, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Still somehow find time for it. I really like trying to put in a lot of effort to the videos, and I'm never really happy with them until like just accept, okay, whatever, I'll just publish it. So I just gotta try and find a balance of like, okay, at some point you just need to put some content out. Just try and shoot for like maybe one video a month, and just keep growing, keep interacting with people, keep trying to make, even if I can just like spare a couple hours a week to do, you know, guest appearances on other people's stuff, like I'd be more than happy with that.
Right.
And help out other people, then sure, because I mean, I love making these videos, but obviously it takes a decent bit of time, and
Yeah.
Not to turn this into, you know, another episode of like, how does Bio do this, the podcast, but like, god damn, how does he like manage to do everything he is able to do?
Well, and like I'm barely like we haven't really put out a lot of YouTube content lately. We've just been doing the podcast and streaming, but like he's doing, you know, a couple videos a week and streaming and doing all this stuff, and then he'll still be like in Discord, be like, hey, do you guys got a minute to chat? And I'm like, no, I don't have a minute to chat, you maniac. I have so much stuff I'm working on all the time. And he's like, oh, okay, no worries, man. I'll just catch you. You know, he's just such a nice guy, and he's such.
And
I'm
usually asleep.
And Jason's usually sleeping. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
But so he's like, yeah, I don't get how he does it either, man. And I thought we would get some kind of like look into how he does when we had him on the podcast, but I still don't get it. So I'm gonna have him on the podcast as many times as it takes to figure out how he does everything he does. I might have to go to his house.
Both him and Water are just such extraordinarily nice guys. Like, they're one of the first people that sort of reached out to me in the little community, I suppose, and have just been nothing but kind and supportive the entire time.
They're the best, man.
It's just, yeah.
Same with us, dude. Honestly, like we only really knew Mel, and just kind of like in passing, she was like, "Oh, I listened to you guys," and we were like, "Cool." And Bio and Water like just reaching out, going, "Hey, do you guys want to do this charity live stream and all this stuff?" And they're just like super nice dudes.
And then from there, it just kind of
now
became an avalanche of just dope things.
Right, and they're like. Bio's constantly tweeting, "Oh man, I'm listening to this really good podcast, The Ansem." Like just like the nicest stuff, dude. Like, and he's just, I don't know how anybody could not like Bioroxis is what I'm gonna say, because he's just great.
For real.
And you meet a lot of people in life and on the internet that aren't great, you know, they're kind of mean, or they're grumpy, or they're whatever it might be. But man, yeah, just the two nicest boys you could ever ask, Water and Bio. Go follow them, everybody. That's it. But okay, that does it for the 13 questions, Damo. Now we can just kind of do. I know. How do you feel, man?
Did you pass?
Pressure's off. Pressure's
off. Now we can just chat, dude, about whatever. Let's. I listened to your most recent podcast with Bio, and
yeah,
where the power went out on you.
Where the power went out. Yeah.
Damn.
And so you could tell they had talked about a lot of this stuff already.
I lost all the good stuff. Yeah, I'm so sad.
I felt so bad for you guys listening to it, because I could tell that, like, and you know, you guys both are very enthusiastic people, so you were doing your best, but like, you could tell that, like,
obviously, yeah,
you guys were crushed. You were
garbage.
crushed that you had the best podcast that had ever been done, and then it was gone. You know what I mean?
It's so deflating.
Oh,
we had it. Yeah, it'd have been a really fun chat.
Yeah. Dude, I wish I could have heard all of it, but you guys made some really intense points about Melody of Memory, about the ending of that game, and we had also talked about it when you popped on our stream right when we beat the game, and you're like, hey, do you guys want to talk about this? And we were like, yeah, it's 6 a.m, we'll talk about it.
It's like, yeah, it's perfect time to start chatting. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but,
I'm not doing anything.
But okay, and okay, all right, hold on. Before I say all this, obviously, if you have not beat Melody of Memory yet, you might want to go do that and come back, because we're going to talk about.
This is your exit point. Yeah.
This is your exit point. It's been weeks, but I understand some people haven't gotten it yet. You don't have the money to get it, whatever it is.
Fair.
That's completely fair. Come back to this once you have beaten it, starting now. Quadratum is Latin for square, like we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You actually. You were the one that told us that.
It made me, in real life, not like this. Like, I was just like grabbing at my hair, like, what the fuck?
But what's also interesting about that is it also can mean like four, right? Like 4 sectors or 4 corners or 4,
right.
You know. And so I
don't think you name a city quadratum if it doesn't have 4 components to it.
Right.
That's not happening, yeah.
Right. And so I think that's interesting, and I think they're going to go the route of like square. Like, it's, hey, this is like a Square world. This is Square Enix world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't surprise me if that's just a red herring. I mean, what do you think about that?
In my mind, it's like 4 wards of Tokyo. Okay, yeah, unless they're doing a big Trixie and Riku's actually going to the wrong place, then I mean, it has to be like 4 wards of Tokyo combined are the Kingdom Hearts equivalent of Quadratum.
Right.
But it's tough though, because like Shibuya is obviously called Shibuya. Like we've seen even in Kingdom Hearts 3, they flash up briefly and you can see it's like Shibuya Market Square or whatever on a banner as they first fly through. So like obviously the area of Shibuya is still called Shibuya, which implies to me that Shinjuku is probably still called Shinjuku. So like, okay, so what is Quadratum then? If Stella is thinking of a city with a bunch of buildings, well then that's probably Tokyo, right? Like,
right.
I mean, I sort of talked about it a little bit, but like it is one of the cities in the planet with the most skyscrapers in the entire world. Like, and so it's a decent bet that that's what she's talking about. And of course, given that we've literally seen her in Tokyo, it would make sense. But I don't know, it wasn't the way she's describing it isn't like super descriptive. She's just like, oh, it's just got a bunch of skyscrapers. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, but
right. And I think that would be a big troll if they decided it's not where Sora is, right? Like that would be like, okay, guys, why did you do this to us?
Right.
But I could, like, she didn't confirm that's where he is. She just said, hey, this is the big city I know of.
That's exactly, yeah. It's like, not necessarily that he's here, but oh, well, I know a place with skyscrapers and it's this.
And so it could be a red herring that it's not Tokyo at all. It's not, It's not The World Ends With You Square. It's not, you know what I mean? But that just seems like that would be so crazy to me. But I do feel like that we're at a point where we don't understand enough of this to even know, right?
I don't know. I feel like wherever Game Central Station is actually like plugged in, I think Game Central Station is probably in Quadratum. Like it's a world of Quadratum, and we've just been like forcibly connected to it through Union Grass.
Like the arcade machine is plugged in a random arcade in there or something.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Is that where Ven came from to get back? Like, that doesn't seem like that's the most plausible way for Ven to get back to the normal world from the data world, right?
Yeah, so I guess the issue is, like, they've established all these rules of time travel that are so ironclad. Like, you got to separate your heart from your body, and now the heart can be free to travel at the speed of light, whatever. Right. And, like, that's how it can travel through time. Except we know that Ven, Lorium, Arena, and probably Skald as well will all travel forward in time with their bodies. So it's like, okay, so you went to all the trouble to establish these time travel rules, and you're now going to immediately break them, I guess, because these guys will have to come forward in time. So do they hop out of the world and do some shenanigans to get back in, or are they just going to ignore the rules and time travel anyway, or like go into stasis or something? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and then you got the whole thing with Luke Sword, where we're pretty sure he's the impressive is it not guy. If he's not, that's 100%. Again another weird coincidence that they're trying to throw at us.
It's like really grief, yeah.
So it's like he came from that world, and then there's Demix, who we have no clue, but you got to assume he's grouped in with Luxord, because where else the fuck would he be from at this point?
Yeah. I will be honest. I really thought like we were getting some sort of Master of Masters, potentially Demix related, just a tease in Melody of Memory.
Yeah, Jason thought that too.
Just a hint. A hint.
I thought Demix was going to be in it for sure.
Well, his original prediction was that Luxord was going to be in Dark Road because it's a card game, and that Demix was going to be in a... He said this before Melody of Memory was announced. He said Demix is going to be in a music game.
Yeah.
And so when Melody
you were
Memory
like,
got
dude,
announced, we were like,
dude, a rhythm game would be dope with Kingdom Hearts music.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, it would be... We would like stream it, like...
Yeah.
It would be sick, and then we would talk to Damo, and it'd be like, sick, dude.
Yeah, he predicted all this.
Called all of it.
Jason has a copy of the Book of Prophecies. He hasn't told anybody.
I am Nomura.
That's right.
Jason's Nomura. He just laughs at our theories as we talk about them. You guys have no idea.
How else do you think I knew about the Davy Jones thing, dude?
That's true. You did call that too, where they were the box was gonna be his heart.
That was kind of like
that was low hanging fruit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Odin thing.
Yeah, the Odin thing.
Like,
the teacher being named Odin.
The teacher's named Odin.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
In a room full of people named after Norse mythology.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely. Okay.
And also, like, means nothing. Just like the Pirates of the Caribbean box.
Yeah,
it means nothing.
Yeah. Speaking of Dark Road, actually, I don't want to be done talking about Melody of Memory, but this popped in my head right now.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Baldur, right?
Mm-hmm.
Newest character.
How's he gonna die?
Well, do you think that, based on Nomura's recent comments, that he doesn't think about Dark Road? That the translation might be loose on that. I don't know.
Where is this interview?
There was an interview with Dengeki that he did, where he said, they asked him if he thinks about how that stuff ties into the story, or if he thinks about how, and he mentioned that Dark Road is a self-contained thing. It doesn't really matter, and that he doesn't think about it at all. That's basically what he said.
It's like a cool story that the Unicross team came to him that they wanted to make. Like, hey, this is a cool story that we want to make. Like, what do you think about it? And he was like, okay, yeah, like that would be cool. Like, and as if it was like something that he like kind of helped with and like they were inspired from. And obviously like he would have to make the okay and everything. Like he's not just like, yeah, sure, do whatever the fuck you want. Like,
but he's still relatively hands off considering like
right. I think it's also I think one thing that might have been missed is probably it's in comparison, right? Because like when it comes to like the story of the rest of it, he's gonna be completely hands-on and in every bit and aspect and like the character design and all this stuff. Like I'm sure he's in every single part of it. Whereas with this, there's probably been a bit of like hands off with like some of the character design, maybe like stuff like that, where he just kind of, okay, let's present this to Nomura, and then now there's the okay.
All right, I have the interview right here, and here are the 2 questions I'm talking about. The interviewer asked him, in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Dark Road, you delve into the past of Xehanort, so does this mean we'll see more of him in the future series? And Nomura said, to be fair, Dark Road wasn't a project that took future titles into consideration. It was more of a project that the Union Cross team was thinking of doing that's been on the back burner for a bit. Xehanort's saga ends with KH3, but you can clearly see in Melody of Memory's story that his influence does shift the atmosphere, even if just a bit. However, I don't think Xehanort will become a main antagonist, main boss in future titles. And then the second question was, one of the main perks of Kingdom Hearts is that it always sets the atmosphere for a continuation. Is that something you commonly think of when developing a game? Example, when developing Kingdom Hearts 1, did you anticipate the existence of Sora's nobody, Roxas? And Nomura says, whenever I think of a story, I try to make it as extensive as possible. For example, when developing Kingdom Hearts 1, I was thinking of its sequel, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. However, not everything I thought of came to fruition. One such case is Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, where I haven't really thought much about it. So,
Yeah.
like, that's obviously not it. What I was saying wasn't the exact quote, but basically he's saying, hey, I haven't, like he said, it's not a continuation of the series, not planned to be a continuation of the series, and he hasn't thought much about it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
My thought is either Dark Road is going to be much longer than we thought it was going to be because they're introducing these characters still, and it's a self-contained story, or he just hasn't thought of what to do yet with it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do wonder if it's just literally the blueprint of like give Xehanort a tragedy, like turn him from nice kid to bad guy, and that's the entire thesis statement of the entire game. Like,
right.
It could just be as simple as that. Like, give him a reason to be a bad guy, and then introduce any important characters and kill them all off by the end of the game, just so they have no lingering effects throughout the rest of the series. Maybe throw in that like Vor is Kari's grandmother, just to be that guy.
Yeah, just to be
and at least have
cheeky.
like some connection to the game and to the rest of the series. But yeah, literally wrap up everything of importance within one little section. I mean, it's very possible. Like,
right.
Especially if I think like the whole mobile games in general are like Nomura's deal with the devil with Square, with like, all right, Mr. Nomura, you get your crazy expensive game that takes 20 million years to make in Kingdom Hearts 3, but we have to monetize it somehow. So we're calling it Kingdom Hearts Key, and then we're calling it Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, and then we're calling it Union Cross, and this is going to be our path to monetization, and you just need to provide us with some story for that, make it ongoing, make it last forever, and, I tie it in with the rest of your games if you want, sure, but
well, and what's weird about
making
that
us money somehow.
is Square Enix has all these other games that are like, based off Final Fantasy or whatever, mobile games, and, Dissidia Opera Omnia, which is a game that I play, has this story, but it has nothing to do with anything else.
Yeah,
and
it's entirely self-contained. Yeah.
Right. And so I wonder
But it's long as shit.
Right, it's long as shit, and the story really doesn't go anywhere. And, I wonder if after Union Cross, he was like, you know what, if we do this again, I don't want to tie in the story. Because it's a pain in my ass, It's
very possible, because you have to synchronize all your release dates, right? You have to be like, all right, God, okay, got to have this reveal, make sure that it comes before this reveal, and, on the PS4 game instead.
Also, like, not creating any, like, plot holes, too, I feel like would be really hard as well.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do cool things, but you're so much, like, written into a corner because you're doing, like, a prequel.
He could still create plot holes with Dark Road, even if it doesn't tie in, because it has to tie in
for
because
sure,
it's
for
Xehanort's
sure.
origin story, right? But it doesn't have to tie into anything else beyond it, I think is what's happening.
Yeah. Well, it's also weird. It's just like the beginning. Well, it's obviously like kind of its own thing with the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 and the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 with like the chess scene and stuff. And it's kind of just supposed to like symbolize Kingdom Hearts 3 and then symbolize whatever's next when he's like, I found this new game. But like those versions of the characters are the versions of the characters that we have in Dark Road. So like it feels like those would be connected in some way at some point, but who knows?
Yeah, I've always read that chess playing scene as like potentially after the characters had, died in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like it didn't necessarily take place literally when they were children. But honestly, after the latest Dark Road reveal, I'm actually not so sure. And especially Melody Memories, actually. I think it might happen. You know the one at the very beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 where he's like talking about the Lost Masters and has Ericus heard of them? I'm now thinking that actually might happen potentially after Dark Road.
Because you would think that they would like be like, oh, there was those Lost Masters. Maybe this is what's happening with the upperclassmen.
Okay, well, and check out my Dark Road Explained video coming out to YouTube near you. So,
dude,
basically,
I'm
like,
waiting.
so you know the scene in Remind where he comes back, young Xehanort's there, and he's like talking to the Masters, and he's like, "How did the world tour go?"
Yeah.
So that's obviously after the time skip in Dark Road. So Dark Road happens, something bad happens to his friends. He's like, I'm going to go tour the worlds one more time before my Mark of Mastery exam.
Right.
Then he comes back and sees so he must see the Master of Masters once, then do the world tour, and then come back again and see him again for the Master to go, how was the world tour? Like, obviously,
right, because it seems like he knows him. Yeah.
He's got the black coat, right? He's like, oh, the coat was, thank you for the coat. It was useful.
Right,
You kept the darkness, right? Whatever. So they've obviously met at least once. And then the Master of Masters walks away and he's like, I'm a lost master. My name is beep. And then, and then the way Xehanort's like, lost masters, it's almost like he's hearing that term for the first time. And then that's why I think he goes back to Ericus after, like, maybe he does some research between then and the conversation with Ericus, but he's like, do you know what have you heard of the Lost Masters? And Ericus is like, what are you talking about? I never heard of him before. Which is weird because then he's like, the Keyblade War is Odin's favorite, the Masters, Odin's favorite story.
And then Yen Sid's ass is like, it's common knowledge that the Lost Masters,
bonkers. It doesn't make any sense, yeah.
You're like, what?
So I think Odin's,
Yen Sid.
I think Odin is a damn liar. Like, everything he said so far is like horseshit, basically. He's like, well, first of all, he's like taking them on a Mark of Mastery exam that isn't the traditional one. Literally just seems to put the kids in danger for no reason. Or send them out of the world, potentially.
Which is a Yen Sid move. Normally a Yen Sid move.
Yeah, kind of a Yen Sid move. True.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I feel like Odin got possessed by Lucia at some point, and that's going to be the reveal.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. That'd be the spiciness they're looking for.
Yeah, he just mounted his own Keyblade on the wall and was like, it was this other guy's Keyblade.
Yeah. Huh.
And then at some point, Odin gives it to Xehanort.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get it at some point, right? And
yeah.
I mean, if we're doing the whole like Baldur and Ragnarok thing, like, is Scarlet just going to go kaput at some point? And because obviously Ericus isn't there anymore, he's off to the land of departure.
True.
Which I assume is a different place. Xehanort nicks off with the Keyblade, even though he's not the successor anymore. So somehow the guy that isn't the successor ends up with the Master's Keyblade.
Do you think it's going to be kind of like a almost like a KH1 style where like the world is just getting like ripped apart type shit?
It's very possible. I mean, I guess that's why, you get to the end of Melody Memory and he's like, you're going to Scarlet at Kylum. And everyone's just kind of like, okay, cool. Like, everyone I've watched react to that is like, okay, neat, I guess. Yeah. But what was the zoom in for?
They do like the zoom in and you're
what was that for?
Well, I don't know if I told you this, Damo, when we talked about it when we were on stream, but I had watched that in Japanese because we had the Japanese version of Melody Memory.
Right.
And I don't speak a lick of Japanese. And so I'm watching and he zooms in on Yen Sid.
It's like, that must have been the darkest line.
Kayum. And I'm like,
you're like,
oh shit, he said some shit about Scarlet Kayum. What the fuck did he say? I don't know. I tried to use Google Translate. It just kind of didn't work. And I was like, I just got to wait till me and Jason beat it in English to figure out what's going on here, right? Because I didn't want to like go on the internet and start hearing people theorize on it and all that. Because I knew people had translated it, but I watched it myself and went, what the? So then I'm sitting here with Jason like as we beat it, and I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see what he's gonna say, and he just goes, Scala ad Kayum, and I went, oh, he just literally said Scala ad Kayum.
Just said the word. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's the point of the whole zoom in, that I guess maybe the audience is meant to assume that's it's a huge deal that they're going back there, like that maybe something bad did happen. Like, I'm really trying to like headcanon around this and be like, well, there must be a reason why.
I'm putting on my tinfoil hat right now because this just something up in me. So we had the pandemic, right? And we're assuming we'd have more chapters of Dark Road if not for the pandemic. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah,
Like
maybe one.
one. Yeah.
One or two, maybe.
One, yeah.
Maybe we find out soon that something happened to Scarlet Kaim, and that was supposed to release with Melody of Memory or before it. And now then the zoom in that happens is supposed to be, wait, we just saw Scarlet Kaim get destroyed in Dark Road or whatever.
Right, and it's got that much more impact, yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I could definitely say that.
And then they were just like, well, this isn't going to match up, Mr. Nomura. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Like, yeah, no one's playing Dark Road anyway.
No one's playing Dark Road anyway, dude. It's fine.
Yeah, I could definitely say that.
I remember we talked about this like a little bit before. Like I've been able to think about it like a little bit more since. With like the idea that like Quadratum is like Latin, Scala ad Caem also is. So I remember saying like, what if Scala ad Caem is like a world from the other side, and somehow there was like a flip, right? And that's like a very like a motif that they've shown even literally in Remind, where you do that puzzle and it does like the Daybreak break Scala ad Caem, right? And Daybreak definitely has more of like a Disney quality type of vibe, where like Daybreak Town seems like it fits way more in the Kingdom Hearts universe than Scala ad Caem does, right? Because it's this big grandiose place with all these massive island tower type things, like with all the cables and everything, that it could be like from this other place. And in flipping and stuff, like brings all these other characters and all of these like ideas over into like the universe that we know as like Kingdom Hearts, right?
For sure.
So I think it'd be really cool if like maybe that's how we get like Luxord or Demix or whatever into this world. Another thing that's like super weird that I wanted to like ask about, like what you think about it, right? Is like, so when we see Scala ad Caem, it's like traveling into Xehanort, like it's like a memory world of Scala ad Caem, not unlike with like what Kyrie's doing, like how we go
basically,
to how we go there. When you go to Scala ad Caem, it's kind of like a memory one, and that's kind of how you can explain that it's not like a fully thought out world, right? Kind of like in a dream, when you go to like leave your house, you might be in a completely different place in the dream when you leave your house than what is actually outside your house.
It's not once a reality. Yeah,
right, exactly.
Necessarily.
So I can't think of how to word this, but like, so in going to Scala ad Caem, do you think that the actual Scala ad Caem is like gonna be like destroyed? Because like it could be completely different from like how Xehanort has actually seen it, because we haven't actually been there, right?
Right. It's like I guess literally the one section in Dark Road, but it's like, how reliable of a narrator is Xehanort, even within his own memories? Like, did he remember it as being, brighter and cleaner than it actually was because he came from his little island? And
right, yeah. So
it seemed like this huge grandiose world. I mean, Dark Road has the answer to that question, right? Dark Road is probably going to show us what happens to Scala.
Right.
So I think the implication is that, again, if they're doing the whole Ragnarok thing, something very bad will happen.
Yeah, and I also think that in the Xehanort boss fight, it could honestly be very much similar to like what actually happens. Like,
sure,
fighting,
100%.
It feels like the whole world is flipping upside down, and then now there's like water everywhere, and then there's like fire going on, everything's breaking apart. Like it could be similar to like a Ragnarok type of thing.
That huge pillar of fire that he brings out of the middle at one point, and it's like, is that the world exploding there, or like what's going on?
And that like maybe in his heart or something, and in his memories, he thinks of himself
He was like, I've seen this once.
The reason
I saw that building
destroyed.
explode.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually, the part about he sees himself as the reason Scala is destroyed. That's actually
100%.
really interesting.
Because he's not from there.
I really, really like that. Yeah. He's just this harbinger of doom. And yeah. So we know that it must be okay immediately after the time skip, though, right? Because there's a graveyard that's still that's still evidently there, and you can see the buildings in the background. So
yeah, it doesn't seem like anything too terrible happened. I feel like what happens to those, well, besides them dying, obviously, I feel like what happened to them happens off-world of Skalad Kayam, wouldn't you think?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the mystery of like who the 4 graves belong to, and we can't say with certainty yet that it's the 4 little friends, but it's weird that there's only 4, because like obviously Balder's involved as well, and now there's at least, I mean, in my mind there are 13 possible. There are 15 characters in Dark Road: Xehanort, Ericus, the 5 friends in the classroom, Odin, and the 7 upperclassmen. But there's only 4 graves.
Yeah.
So like there are now all these additional characters that could now exist in the rest of the series.
Well, and you got to assume. Are we assuming Yensid's one of the upperclassmen?
Maybe. I don't know. Like,
because explain how he's like around. He's really old, just like how Xehanort is.
That's totally, yeah. Like I can accept that if he is revealed to be, I'm like, okay, I've got no problem with that. But it also wouldn't surprise me if like he was an older, already graduated kid or something. It just depends like how much they want to flesh out. Because I also don't know if they can literally show a young Yensid character design, like if they'd be allowed to do that.
That would be.
Or what if he's just still old?
Yeah, it's sure. Yeah, he just never aged. Yeah,
he's wearing the same clothes.
Oh my god!
He's just
literally
always
not
been
changed
that
his
old.
robe in 85 years. He's just
It's the same one.
ugh.
And he's got the
Like a
3
shower
fairies
dude.
with him still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
man.
lord.
Yensid, cursed. He's just absolutely cursed. But
Before I forget, like you mentioned the way that like Scarlo could potentially be from that other world. I mean, you know how like if a world is lost to darkness regularly in Kingdom Hearts, and it literally crosses from the realm of light to the realm of darkness by being taken that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder if Scarlo could cross one way or the other by like if it somehow is destroyed or in some way adversely affected by whatever happens to Dark Road. If that's the mechanic to transfer a world from this side to the other side of reality.
Yeah. And I think
If it doesn't fall to darkness, it falls to whatever other force there is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of seems like whenever there is a world. So like, okay, I remember we talked about this before as well. In getting to what's the name of the Wreck-It Ralph world?
Game Central Station.
Game Central Station.
Yeah.
They're already in the data world, right? So like it's connected to a data world. It's like therefore it's
Right.
like it's not considered like real. Like it's a data world that doesn't exist in their real world. Like it's kind of like a 2 layers deep type thing where it's like, okay, like if you go into a realm that's not the normal realm, then go like one deeper, then maybe that's what like the other side is, right?
I see what you're saying, but like, and obviously, in the Melody Memory cutscene, Ansem the Wise just fucking deduces some 5-head shit with no reason to. He just goes, "It's an unreality," and you're like, "What?" But he does mention that Data is considered one of the worlds in their reality.
Right.
So he says, you know, there's light, dark, in between, Data, memories, and dreams. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Those
there's
are
the big 3.
The big
and you
3,
can have
and then
you can have the sub 3 of the middle. Yeah, you can
Right.
have
I wonder if there's a way where this unreality, as Ansem the Wise put it, or this fiction, if it's easier to connect to a world like that through, maybe they have data worlds as well.
through a data world or something. Yeah.
So
yeah.
like maybe there's, because the Union Cross kids are already in Data Daybreak Town, it was easy for them to go to Data Game Central Station, which is in the other side,
Yeah.
the unreality, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, like kind of like, okay, so in order to get to the other side, you would have to go like, so you're in the data version of Daybreak Town.
Mhm.
That's where they are.
Yes.
And then going to another world, which is like not connected to their real world at all, right?
Mhm.
So it's a completely unattached thing to what they know, right?
Right.
Yes.
So then they
yeah.
cross over into this other world would be a way to get to that other side.
Right.
So and then in getting if you were to theoretically, so you're in the memory world or whatever of Scala, then theoretically if you went to a data world in the memory world, then you could be in part of a data world from the other side, if that makes sense.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I hate that.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just actually this isn't really switching gears. You actually reminded me of one thing that blew my mind in Damo and Bio's talk when I listened to it. And that's Damo said, and he mentioned this, and I never realized it, but Wreck-It Ralph doesn't say a damn word when you summon him. The man who's known for literally showing up anywhere.
God,
and
his
saying,
voice can't reach us.
I'm gonna wreck it. I'm gonna wreck it.
No.
Now,
Except he says thunder in when you fight a Sora.
What?
When you fight a Sora in Melody of Memory.
Yeah.
When you're fighting, he's like
Sora
thunder.
Sora says thunder. Yeah.
I didn't think of that, but in KH3, Wreck-It Ralph doesn't say a damn word. Now the other summons don't talk either, but Simba roars.
Yeah.
I think Stitch makes noise.
I don't think Ariel says anything.
I don't think Ariel says anything, so that's the other weird one.
But she's
I think if someone Stitch once.
I think
Maybe.
Stitch goes, he makes his little Stitch noises, and Simba roars. Ariel doesn't say a thing, but maybe she's got banished to unreality too, right?
Maybe. She's made of water though.
Yeah. That's what's weird is the
they're almost like elementals at that point.
Yeah. The summons in Kingdom Hearts are such a different version of the summons we've known before, where Simba is born of fire and Stitch is born of electricity, and Ralph is just born of data.
He's data blocks /
Except for the Meow Wows, they're literally there.
Yeah, the Meow Wow's literally there.
Which that's awful. It's breaks 1,000 theories, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Meow Wow makes noise too.
Well, that's
other than the fart
There's
noise.
the dream world theory, the realm of sleep theory, sleeping realm theory.
So when you said that Wreck-It Ralph doesn't say anything, I went, holy shit! How did I never notice that this guy doesn't say anything? And the way Sora doesn't say anything in Melody of Memory because his voice couldn't reach us, that. I don't know, man. I feel like there's something to that. But then you factor in that in KH1, who gave you the summons?
No girl.
The fairy
She
godmother.
knows how to do it. She knows how to do it.
She turned them into gems or whatever and gave them to you. And said these people are from worlds that were lost and they lost their hearts or whatever. Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
Well, and then you get to those worlds. Wait, okay, but that wouldn't make any sense though. Because then you get to those worlds and you're like, oh, it's Mushu, and then he's like, Sora,
yeah, he remembers
he knows.
you. Yeah, Sora, Mushu does remember you. Does Simba though? I don't remember if Simba.
Yeah, Simba does. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
That's right. He goes Sora. Yeah, he remembers. That's right. Huh. Interesting though.
He doesn't recognize him. Yeah.
I always thought the summons were such an interesting part of the lore, because it's just part of it in KH1 is just seeing those Disney characters end the game, and going, oh man, I wish I could go to Simba's world, or I could go to maybe not Dumbo or Bambi, but the other ones. I wish I wish I could go to their world.
Bambi's world would be depressing as shit.
Right, dude. You'd be getting shot by hunters and stuff.
Are they gonna retcon that to be the power of waking and they're able to? Sora's able to basically power of waking them to his side because hearts can cross worlds, whatever.
I think that's what. I don't know if it's a retcon, so to speak, because obviously it is because he didn't come up with the power awakening in Kingdom Hearts 1, right? But the way he summons them, even it's kind of he holds over his heart. At least I'm thinking of KH3, I guess, how he summons them. But there's that light that surrounds him, and he holds over his heart, and then they show up.
I think in KH1 he just puts his Keyblade in the air.
You're right, he does, because then Genie pops out of it.
Yeah.
Well, he has a different dance for every summon, right? He moves the Keyblade in a slightly different way, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think you're right.
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah,
the whole
he's got
animation.
a sparkler type thing.
Yep.
Because he draws the circle on the ground for Bambi or something, and there's flowers popping out of it.
Yeah, that's right. Those are really cool.
They're really cool.
I really like those summon animations. That 2 doesn't do that, does it?
Well, so you get the one at the end of each world where he seals the keyhole that Remind references, but you don't get the you don't get the same summon animation now.
Yeah, because they just kind of like Stitch just kind of pops up and is like, like he doesn't. In 2, when you summon characters, they don't really.
Wait, yeah. What does he say when he summons them? Because I know he's like genie, like
Yeah.
Over and out.
right, yeah, exactly. But like, what does he say when he summons like freaking Chicken Little,
Is it
dude?
the first? Do you get it the first? No, you do. You do get one cutscene the first time. What am I talking about?
Because
You do.
Chicken Little,
He
because
runs
Chicken
to
Little
Sora,
runs
like-
and he say Sora,
Yeah.
and he picks him up like a little baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think it's in
There
the
is-
box art.
You're right. It
It
is.
is,
yeah,
It
on the
It is
back.
on the box art.
Yeah,
Because they thought Chicken
Yeah.
Little was gonna be a big deal.
dude, Zach Braff is the man.
He's really good in game.
Yeah.
Try beating those
He's-
hot rods
he's-
without Chicken Little.
He's
dude. You can't do
juiced,
it.
and Pete.
And yeah, he messes up Pete too. Speaking of Pete, dude,
Mhm.
what do you guys think
What's
is
going
the
on?
end game to
going on
Maleficent
there?
and Pete looking for the box, dude? Like I don't even know what that could possibly be for them.
So Maleficent was told by someone to go get it, right? Well, that's the way I
Darkness, yeah.
assume. That's the way I read it. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like that guy. Was he say that guy in black might have been pulling your leg or something like that? That Pete says. Which to me implies that someone sent her after the box. So he's not literally in black. It's just a bunch of shadow. But I assume that darkness has sent them back in time with the mission. Okay, I'm going to send you back in time. When you get there, try find a box. When it's going to have a book of prophecies inside it, probably. Go try and find that. It'll help you out.
But then she doesn't actually start looking till Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, so maybe
But
she
she
just
comes
ignores it
back
for
in
all the
2.
2. Yeah, and they just go. She had bigger things to worry about. La la la. Because at the end of RE coded, it's almost like she forgot it, right? And then RE coded's like, oh, that date escape kind of reminded me. That's the cleverest pun, by the way. But that whole like, oh, the date escape, that reminds me of a book. And I wonder if that's them like, that's how she jogs her memory of like, oh, right, this thing that I was supposed to do. I
Right.
mean, obviously it's a retcon, but like, it's a decent way of getting around it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she didn't immediately show up in 2 and go, Pete, we got to find this box.
Right.
Well, because the idea is that like young Xehanort doesn't know exactly like what happens in the future, even though he's been there. It's just like etched in his heart, like he just feels like
Etched
that's
on
what
his
he
heart.
needs to do.
Yeah.
Another thing I thought of, what might be like really fucked up, is if Masters is still Xehanort, but like the original version of Xehanort that like lived through his life and was
Oh,
like,
no,
yo,
don't do this.
like lived through his life normally, still somehow like obviously would like get a Keyblade somehow, like all this like weird shit, but then like trying to find a better way where it's like, yo, if my young version is here in Daybreak Town or in Scala, and like then in using this Keyblade with his eye in it or whatever, he could go and like see everything that's gonna happen.
Dude,
That would be like really
There's
fucked.
no way they're doing
I'm the
that.
Lost Master, like I'm Xehanort type shit.
There's no way
that would
they're
be
doing
so
that.
fucked.
There's no way.
It would be fucked.
Yeah.
And in a twisted way, it could still be.
I think it's Nomura, but
Yeah.
that's only after listening to his theme. 'Cause I think that's how Yoko feels about Nomura.
For sure. Definitely.
Is like he's this kind of crazy, and so she just like bashed her fingers on the piano.
The Master is so weird because it's like he's talking about that when he was a boy, the Keyblade War began, and like if I like apply Nomura logic to that, I'm like, okay, when he was a boy, and the Keyblade War is like a stand-in for light versus darkness. In my mind, it's not literally had to be a Keyblade War, like especially now that we're going to other worlds
Right.
where they probably don't have Keyblades.
You think if they had Keyblade, Jozora would have had one, right?
Right. I just sort of I choose to read it as like it's more of a he's saying Keyblade War to Lucio because that's what Lucio can understand. He can understand that warriors in this universe wield Keyblades at each other, and that's what they do. So that's how he's framing it. But I choose to read it as like, and again, total headcanon, but in the Master Masters world, which was originally neutral, like light, there was no light and darkness division. It was all neutral at one point. Or harmonized, I should say. Like they existed in balance. And then at one point the balance broke and there was a clear division, and now light and darkness started warring against each other. And that's like, because the world that, you know, this quadratum, whatever, it's said to be a world not of light nor darkness, right? It's so I assume they still have elements of each, but they're still they're like literally in harmony with each other. Like there aren't characters that are possessed by darkness or that wield light. They're just, I don't know if they have like technology-based powers or whatever it's going to be, but it's not literally light or darkness that drives them or empowers them. Anyway, so if Nomura is this little kid, he's a boy one day, and from Wikipedia, researchers told me that he would, like, his dad would take him to like play all these different video games, like would buy like Dragon Quest and all this different stuff for him, which have like obviously every single video game ever, you could read it as like, oh, it's some force of light versus some force of darkness. Like there's
Good and
always
evil,
a big bad guy. There's always, good and evil. Like the matter, you can always reduce it down to protagonist wants to, combat bad guy. You can always reduce it down to light and darkness.
Especially in JRPGs where it's like you start off 100% as young boy and then you end up defeating a corrupt god or whatever. It's trying to
trillion, 1 billion trillion percent. Exactly right. So yeah, so if again, I'm still literally headcanoning this, but like Nomura's like, okay, well, since I was a young boy, aka when he first started playing video games, that's when this Keyblade War, the light versus darkness battle began. And ever since then, he just wants a break, right? It's like he's literally been fighting this war ever since, to the point where he's now affecting change in the world, aka making his own video games. And now he's just tired. Now he just wants a break. Because he's been making video games non-stop for like 30 years at this point. And he's like, if I can pull this off, I just get a break. If I can just pull this off, I'll get a break.
Well, and what's fucked up, what's really fucked up too is like when in watching like the movie and stuff, you're like, this motherfucker is instigating this shit. And it's like, yeah, that's what Nomura's doing. He's writing the story. He's not instigating it. He's just creating it.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like literally. But it's all in the service of like, if I can just pull this off, I just get a break. Not permanently, but I get a break for a little bit. So I'm almost like, is he trying to like announce his retirement through the creation of a video game? He's like, okay, I can't just retire. I gotta do this properly. I gotta like go out with a huge bang and make a huge video game around my own departure from this like
man,
from this space.
Shit. I never thought of it that way.
If I just pull this off properly, then light and darkness will finally be at peace. They'll finally be in harmony, aka I can stop making video games and just retire. Like, I can just take a break.
Like, you could even, like, infer that, like... Because doesn't he say to Luju that, like, it's always been going on and he wants to end it, but by doing something, he can give himself a break? Like, isn't the break thing, like...
So the Keyblade War is the break. So making the Keyblade War happen, and I think sending him off to... banishing him from the world, I think that's the break. Like, he can leave the Kingdom Hearts universe for a bit. It's a temporary truce, I think he says.
Right, a temporary truce. That's what it is. I couldn't think of what he said. So, the temporary truce was when he was going to make Versus 13, right?
I mean, yeah, maybe.
And then they still didn't let him. People were still like, Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts. And if he can just pull this off by combining Versus 13 with Kingdom Hearts,
he can still do the
he's going to get a break from Kingdom Hearts because it will be something different.
Exactly.
If he can just pull this off.
That's my logic to it.
Well, I think it could also be even broader too, where it's like, hey, like I keep hearing all of these stories about good versus evil. Let me do something that's different. That's not just good versus evil, right? And in this like a weird, like twisted way, like adding these like motifs that are from different mythology, like with all of the like Norse stuff, being like, hey, this is black and white, like good versus evil or whatever, like light versus darkness. Even in these old stories that everybody knows, let me do something different. And kind of even like putting a spotlight on that. That's like, hey, my shit is different, even from like this, like globally known story, like universally known. Yeah, man.
This is some five-head stuff. I don't know if this is what people expected from this conversation, was our Nomura is master of masters theory, but they got it. Because I've just jokingly thought that for a while because just of certain context clues, but you putting that spin on it, I'm convinced now, dude. He's the master of masters is Nomura.
I wanted to get this video out before Reman, but I ran out of time. Like the script for literally what I'm talking about now is still on my Discord somewhere. I just posted it. I'm like, I'm not gonna have time to make this video, but pre-Remind, I just want to put this idea out there, like, just to say that I did it.
We asked Water this because he makes like theory videos too. Does that
Mhm.
ever bother you? Do you ever feel like I just released this video and then a new game comes out and like it proves this and this wrong and this might be closer to right and da da da. But does that like do you feel like
Oh, it's really easy. Just have accurate theories. Just
just be right, five head.
Yeah, just be right all the time. I don't know. Like, it's always nice to have more information. Like, I put out the like Avarice Darkness one, and it was just a fun video to make. And I don't think it's right. Like, I mean, it seems fairly clear that it's been proven wrong at this point, but it was still just a fun theory to make. And like, it was piggybacking off an idea that Mel had, and I was like, holy shit, I love that idea. Like, I'm just gonna like run with it because it's her idea that she came up with it. And I was just like, okay, let me just, yeah. I mean, I could provide further evidence for it. It's such a fun idea. So. It just even having discussion, because even if you get it wrong, which it's Kingdom Hearts, of course we're all going to get it wrong all the time, but like it inspires further ideas and gets other people's cogs turning, and it's just good fun. Like I love talking crap like this. It's just
dude. I just thought so. Like okay, Number was like okay, Kingdom Hearts 1, Light versus Darkness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Kingdom Hearts 2, he's like, yo. Something versus nothing, right?
No.
Okay.
And then in DDD, he's like, "Yo, like this is sleep, like what is like real in like a sleeping sense, and what is real in like you're awake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sleep versus awake."
And he just keeps being like, "God damn it, it's all light versus darkness," and he's like trying to figure out like how many ways can I do this until I figure out how to do it where it's not boiled down to light versus darkness. Like
that's what is literally like so interesting. Yeah, I 100% agree. Like I was about to say, that's so interesting of why he's made this distinction of like, we are now going to a world that is neither of light nor darkness, literally. So what are we going to fight? Like, I guess like, that's what's so interesting to me. Because Yuzora, I guess, is the guy, right? Like, he wasn't light, he wasn't darkness, he was just an enemy that we fought. Where Sora's like flipping around in anti-form with his dark powers and in light form, literally light and dark different forms. Clearly using elements of both. So
like separated, yeah.
Are we like, is Sora being introduced into that world going to somehow corrupt it with its like division of light and darkness? And are we going to literally repeat the same mistakes in this world? Like, are we going to introduce a conflict between them both?
Sora's the
into
virus.
This new place? It might be.
Oh shit.
Sora's the virus.
Oh shit.
He's
Is
gonna
that what the Master Masters? I don't think so. I think the Master Masters wants the opposite, right? So then why does he bring Sora into that world? Or does he think Sora's like a harmonizer? Or Riku's a harmonizer, I should say. Like, and that's why he's trying to bring them all into, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like in doing this nature taboo, he's fucked up this other place.
Yeah. Master.
See, I wanna-
Like the
trickster.
punishment isn't to the people that he knows, but it's to all these other people, and it's gonna be like fucked up. But now he's like seeing that like firsthand.
Yeah. With the Master, like, I do wonder, was getting banished like part of the plan? Like, because I still think like if you make a book that can literally see the entire future, that's probably a taboo of nature. Like, that's probably some level of like breaking the rules at some point. So if you then give a bunch of Keyblade wielders that book and say, go destroy the world, and you expect to get banished, right? Like, that's why he vanishes, dims, and fades without a trace at the start of that cover, right? Like, that's been my headcanon since day one, that, oh, he gets banished. And then Sora gets banished in the same way for committing similar taboos of nature. So, but is that the only way to get to that world? Like, evidently not now, because Riku's also shown you can just go to the final world, speak to someone from there.
Well,
and
This is what me and
open up a
Water
portal.
talked about.
well, the thing is too, like the portal that pops from the Nameless Star. Like, are we
It's a
sure he's
dream
going to the
portal,
real
right?
version of that world?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's
He
a pink
opens
portal,
it and
just
then
like that
shoots
pops
up
out of
into the
Xehanort.
air. Like, he doesn't go into the portal though. Like, I mean, unless I'm crazy, don't they always go into the portal? Whereas like he almost uses it
Yeah, he
as
goes like way up into the sky.
He
yeah.
goes up
It's
into the
almost
sky
like the
with it,
portal
yeah.
is like what he's looking for, like an example of
Right.
what he's looking for, so he finds the real
Yeah.
version.
maybe, yeah. I don't know.
I have to go watch Mel's video on portals again because
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely,
good job
yeah.
of
Yeah.
Shout outs to Mel. the secret
differentiating
reports.
what portals are what. And I gotta go refresh before I come up with that theory.
So
I've wanted to pick her brain for ages, especially after Melody Memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's just so quick with this stuff. Like, it's just, she blows my mind with how quick she comes up with like these theories and like presents them in a way that like everybody can understand.
That's God, the production value of her videos and Waters honestly are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Waters
So good.
Waters definitely taken a
So
step
goddamn
forward,
good.
you know, and we talked about that when he was on the podcast about how like when people do really good like that, other people
It just
step up to
elevates,
match
yeah.
it and it just elevates everybody,
Right.
you know. Meanwhile,
Rising tide, right?
I'm using the same art for the podcast I have for 100 episodes, so.
I'll give you one more while we're talking about Riku, right?
All right.
So Riku's why does Riku go to the other world? What's his goal?
To get Sora.
How would you say that? How else would you say that?
To retrieve Sora?
What about to
Save
save
Sora.
Sora?
Oh.
What about to save Sora?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So a guy that looks just like Riku with a mission to save Sora. You know anyone else that fits that description?
That's true. That's true. Yozora. But his save Sora, he's trying to kill Sora.
So we don't. Why does he look just like Riku? This is all insane to me that like a guy that looks just like Riku and just like Noctis is this like almost like archetypal hero in a way, and he's got exactly the same mission, right? Like he wants to save Sora, and he's just expressing that through beating the pulp out of him. Like, it's all crazy to me. Like I don't know how it's all going to track, but
Well, and I think you brought up this point in that other podcast you guys did that the Nameless Star doesn't look at Riku and go, "Hey, it's Yozora," right?
yeah,
Which lines
Yeah.
up with him saying, "This isn't what I really look like."
And he was
Yeah.
saying that this isn't the real world and this isn't what I really look like.
Right. Well,
yeah.
okay. This just popped in my head, and I don't know if it's something it's full blown or anything, but you mentioned Yozora, you mentioned Noctis. They're these main character archetypes, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Riku, who is not the main character of Kingdom Hearts, but was supposed
But
to
he
be.
was supposed to be. Exactly. Yeah.
Huh. I never
Yeah.
thought about that before.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bio has an idea for a video like this. We sort of talked about it before. I think it was Bio. Of like, yeah, that archetypal role. And without trying to spoil this video, I think he might put Xehanort in that category as well, of like the initial like archetypal hero that was supposed to have this journey, but in those guys' case, it somehow got interrupted. Like something
Yeah.
happened where bad juju happened, and yeah,
Huh.
and I think he was like tying it into. Well, I won't say, but like he's got a cool idea for a video. So
Yeah. Don't spoil the man's video.
yeah.
We'll shout it out when it goes up.
Excellent, excellent.
Something that I wanted to talk about with how you're saying, like, how is it that, like, it is in doing the nature taboo, is that how he's, like, able to be gone? This is something that me and Water were just, like, randomly talking about when we were playing Black Ops. Like, just, like, we were talking about how the only people that we had, like, know of where they're just kind of, like, disappeared. And we, like, speculate that, like, you know, Ava might also have done some type of nature taboo in order to not be when Luxu summoned everybody, right? Because everyone
Right,
seems kind of
right.
hunky-dory, like they've been with each other for a minute. They're not at each other's throats anymore, trying to kill each other.
So
like-
clearly some time has passed between the ending of the
Right.
Keyblade War and then, yes.
Yeah, and they have to have known what happened as well, right? Because they're like, yo, like, why did you summon us? Where's Ava? Like, she has her role, blah, blah, blah. And that she could also be banished, right? And
Totally. Yeah.
that's why when Luxu tries to summon them, she doesn't appear. Well, what could she have possibly done? Well, the couple ways that we like see her is, yo, Strelitzia is supposed to have this book. Strelitzia dies. So there's like two trains of thought, is that it could be that she makes it so that like Strelitzia dies either by killing her or some way, right? And then giving the book to Brain instead. So then Brain has the book. That's like her taboo, is changing what happened as far as like who's there, and like pretty much like going against the Master's plan. Because that's kind of like what a lot of people think, is that she kind of went against the Master's plan. And when you see her, it's like she has two sides, where it's like sometimes she's very like cheerful and like is like this leader of Dandelions, like, you guys are the hope of the future. And then in other times she's very like somber and
Ultra
like,
serious.
what are you doing here? Like that type of stuff. So like at that point she's like either like traveled back in time for her past self, like having seen everything and being like, hey, I gotta
make a change.
kill her and get this book to Brain instead. And then that's her nature taboo. And that's why she's gone.
That's why I initially liked that Arvo's Darkness theory so much, because it seemed to make so much sense of like, if she could somehow know what was going to happen and try and make a change, then the only thing she'd even be able to do at that point, given that the war is inevitable, was like, well, I could change who gets the book. So I don't think anymore that she kills Strelitzia, but I do think like, why did Arva, the girl who literally followed, who was demonstrated, back cover went out of its way to be like, she follows every rule, she follows every rule, she follows every rule. She's the one that decides to give Brain the book instead of, she gives Brain the Book of Prophecies instead of whoever it was supposed to go to, which I assume is Strelitzia.
Yeah, because when she like dies, the book drops or something along that line. Like she has the book at some point. I see, like I remember like a very like she's like hugging the book type thing.
Yeah, so there's a green rule book, but there's the Book of Prophecies as well, right? So all the 5 Union leaders, so FMS, Skald, Brain, Strelitzia, and Lorien were meant to get a green rule book, and one of them is meant to get the Book of Prophecies, which I think is the idea that you can enact change with this. Whoever Brain got it, but he wasn't supposed to, so we know that for sure he wasn't supposed to.
Right.
My theory is that Strelitzia was supposed to get it, and that's why Darkness targeted her.
Right.
He was like, oh, okay, well, if Darkness wanted more than to just have a imposter among the Union leaders, like, why wouldn't you go for the one that gets the Book of Prophecies? So I think Arva's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, yeah, sure. If let's say she's struck down in the Keyblade graveyard, her heart's flying out of her body, and she's like, no, not yet. I'm gonna, the instant my heart leaves my body, I'll travel back in time, possess an older version of myself, and just change one thing. I'll give Brain the book instead. And it's like, maybe this has happened 5 times already. Maybe she's literally done 4 loops already, keeps giving it to a different person, and it always ends up the same way. It always ends up with the Keyblade War happens again. She's like, Brain this time, I'll give it to him. And I don't know. I'm literally spiraling out of control with theories, but
that's how it goes, dude.
Well, all right, boys. I think we did it. I think we did a good podcast between the 3 of us.
We completed our roles.
Yes, it has been etched and we've completed it. Damo, dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. We're gonna have you on again. I promise. We'll talk more.
Anytime, man.
More Kingdom Hearts, because I know you love doing this and we love doing this too. Why don't you let people know where they can follow you and where they can hit you up?
Plug my stuff.
Yeah, plug your stuff.
I got the YouTube channel, which is, I suppose, the main source of your theory goodness. Used to make Union Cross videos, but I don't really do that anymore, just because YouTube will punish you if you do too many different things, and I think the story videos are being punished because of that. So yeah, I just do the story videos on YouTube now. Damo279, Twitter, Twitch. I'm busy at the moment, but hopefully I'll have some time to stream again soon.
Dude, yes, I was gonna ask you to do that on this interview, because I was like, dude, I've been following Damo for so long, and I swear to God, like, I know that he, like, the time zone difference is fucked, but so is my sleep schedule. I should have seen him live at least once by now, right? Like, I've been on your timeline for a minute, so I should have seen it.
That's true.
And I look, and it's like, yo, this broadcast was like when they like first dropped like mom shit, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Where's Damo streams?
I streamed the Melody Memory like as it came out, and I think the Twoey 2 thing, which we didn't touch on.
It was like you and Bio talking was the last thing.
Yeah,
like waiting for something to drop.
No, I just got a new job that's only around for like a month, so I'm just trying to take like literally as many hours of that as I possibly can, which is taking up literally all. Like, that's why I haven't been posting anything on YouTube either. I got a day off today, so I was like, okay, try and get a video out.
And then these 2 assholes come along and say, be on our podcast, please.
No, but it's fun.
For like
it's
2
fun,
hours,
like,
for sure.
At least I get some sort of content out that way, right? Like,
yeah. And so everybody,
you put yourself into the world.
Please go subscribe to Damo on YouTube, follow him on Twitch, follow him on Twitter. I know that when something new Dark Road or Union Cross drops, you're usually there playing through it in Japanese and then playing through it in English when it drops right after. I was there the last time Dark Road content dropped, and that was a doozy. Especially because we both thought they weren't going to drop the English version at the same time because they hadn't said anything about it, and then sure enough, there it was.
Maniacs.
Yeah, they are maniacs. But yeah, man, everybody go follow Damo. Thank you again, Damo, for hanging out with us, man. It's been a blast. And we will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ansem Report podcast, the longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast on the internet. How about that interview with Damo, huh? It's good stuff.
Dude, so good. So good.
What a delight he is.
I know your guys' minds are fucking melted. But take it easy. Because it's the question of the week, baby. It's the question of the week. It is time for the question of the week.
And we'll just say, we talked about in the interview how Bio and Water are just two of the nicest guys. Damo is in that category for me, too. Just the nicest dude. Like,
yeah.
Because, you know, he's a big deal. That
not
Damo.
Tatsu. He's not in that category.
Tatsu not in that category.
Cretin.
We love you, Tatsu. But you are Cretin. This week's question of the week. Question of the week. Question of the week. I don't know what I just did there.
Yeah.
Is
that was a bit weird.
From Zemnews. From Zemnews. And it says, cannot stress this enough, but incredibly weird. What if you could assign different classes to Donald and Goofy? Like, of course, the Defender Magician combo is classic AF and works so well, but just imagine if you could mix it up, like Donald being a DPS archer and Goofy being a Dragoon Knight or some shit. Treating them more like customizable pawns akin to Dragon's Dogma, I think would open so many avenues for explorable playstyles and tailored strategies to specific boss fights and such. What are some class combos you think would work well for them? So that was the question from Zemnews. Thank you, Zemnews. And answering the question first is the same man who reviewed us earlier, Billy the Kid Lawrence.
Shout out to Billy the Kid.
Shout out to Billy Kid. And he says, forgive me, but my answer is going to be a bit out there and not exactly what you're asking as it pertains to different characters than Donald and Goofy, but with good reason. Basically, I want to change things up not only class-wise, but character-wise in a future game. I miss the Disney charm that KH1 had with the main villain being a Disney character for most of the game, so I wish to do a story where Mickey, Donald, and Goofy had been kidnapped by Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, a villain from Mickey's past with an agenda against our dear king, while Sora is off on a new adventure through various worlds to find and save them. Sora is aided on his new journey by Goofy's son Max, a knight in training who wishes to save his father, and Darkwing Duck, a vigilante whose world was lost to evil, who seeks vengeance against the ones who took everything from him.
Wow.
Max uses a sword instead of a shield and is a lot different in personality from his father, much like the TV show movies, Goof Troop, Goofy Movie, Extremely Goofy Movie. I also think this would be a good opportunity to bring back skateboarding, all of Kingdom Hearts 2, and have Max incorporate skateboarding into his fighting style alongside the swordsmanship. A reckless teenage knight with a temper problem.
And a skateboard. Hell yeah.
Darkwing Duck would obviously be a very gadget-based dexterity-type terror that flaps in the night, but will also come with some magic along the way to enhance his arsenal, such as making his cape more hardened and shield-like. He has a distaste for magic in his purest form, but deems it necessary to at least give him better weapons for the monsters they will encounter. And of course, there would be fun team attacks galore with Sora. I'll let you guys play around with some ideas there if you want to, either on the show or on your own time, while I just sit here sad this game will never be real, lol. I just want to do cool skateboard attacks while Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure PS2 soundtrack plays in the background. Damn it, Nomura, come on. The X Games, sponsored by Xehanort. Done rambling now, huh?
The X Billy the Games. The Key Games.
The Key Games. Welcome to the Key Games. Sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Baja Blast, of course.
Baja Blast is eternal.
Yeah.
This next answer comes from Babaloo. I'm a big D&D nerd, so I'll use those classes as inspiration. With Donald, because he has anger issues, I would love to see him as a berserker barbarian. When he takes damage, he can go into rage for a few seconds and deal more damage and take less damage. Once his rage ends, he'll move a bit slower than usual until he recovers. Goofy was harder to pick. I looked at his older cartoons for inspiration, since he was portrayed as a clumsy goof. The closest I could think of would be a bard. He could distract enemies by stumbling around and doing flips, even get enemies laughing and incapacitated with how silly he acts. So it's almost like his goofs would be like bardic spells, songs. Right. He'd just be like, oh, no!
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, that fucking dog fell. I like that idea. Thank you, Babaloo.
Yeah, that was good.
Carrison Ford's answering next, and she says, I really like the idea of Goofy being more attack-based, like a tank with a great sword or an axe. I'd love to see Donald as a monk doing ninja flips all over the place and dual-wielding knives, Cryface. That would be pretty hype.
Yeah.
Kyrie's bro says, I would love if you had job classes you could change. Something like Final Fantasy 10 or 12. Personally, I'd love to make Donald a gunner. The kind that inflicts status effects to the enemies. And Goofy a dragoon because it's a fucking cool class. I feel like magic and defense are kind of wasted since Sora can really just handle it himself.
Yeah. I could see that.
Alx, forever scarred by Demic, says, give them both Keyblades so Donald can use Zeta Flare and not die. I don't know how it works. And so Goofy can use magic. Just please make it so they don't fucking die in one hit. Sweet Tea says...
He's so scarred by Demic.
He is so scarred by Demic, dude. He couldn't answer the question.
Just to let them get die in one fucking hit.
Sweet Tea says, I don't know if I would want to outright change them, but maybe add additional classes to them. I think it'd be cool to see Donald as a thief/alchemist, kind of in the vein of Riku from Final Fantasy X.
Okay,
Donald's stealing mechanic could be used for getting synthesis items as well, and then I guess pulling from the same game, maybe Goofy spends too much time with Tidus and Waka while Sora's away and becomes obsessed with Blitzball and starts using one as a weapon. I'm glad spending time with Waka made him want to use a Blitzball and not be like racist towards Albed.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, those dirty Albed.
Oh my god.
Using the forbidden Machina. We must atone for our sins, and you, Yevon, will forgive us, and sin will leave.
Praise be to Yevon.
I have to guide Sora to the Summoner's Peak in order to enact the calm.
I just imagine him doing like the song, like yay,
praise be to Yevon. That's the crossover I never knew I needed or wanted, but now I want.
Yeah. Waka goof.
Sean's, also known as Just a Red Nocturne, says Musketeer versions.
Ooh.
So they're Musketeer versions from...
They're like a
DD.
fencer, yeah.
Yeah. They're both just swordsmen. Constus says... Donald would be a Dark Knight, you know, that job that sacrifices health points to attack.
Ooh.
But get this. Instead of sacrificing his own HP, he sacrifices Sora's. The ultimate heel meme revenge. You deserve it, Donald.
No.
I like that answer. That's funny. DP Grant says, I would really like to see Goofy as a Dragoon, as he already does a decent number of acrobatics, so jump-based attacks feel like a natural progression. It would be pretty sick seeing Goofy having spears levitating around him like Zaldin.
Oh my god.
Maybe Goofy could apprentice with Dylan during the events of the next game, and Dylan could be voiced again. Yay! And then DP Grant also says, and then I would have Donald as either a white mage casting Cure and Haste, or as a warlock who summons Huey, Dewey, and Louie, or other Duckburg characters. I like that.
Dude. This motherfucker is like pretty much has my fucking idea.
Yeah, everybody's taking your idea, dude.
Pretty much.
Well, don't worry. Our friend Zach, Unhinged Exit, Wrath of Rebellion, the man of a million names, has a pretty long answer, so you have time to think.
Ooh.
Seeing that Donald and Goofy being both a wizard and defender respectively over time has made it very hard to imagine them in different roles. These roles fit so well for their characters, so it's hard for me to come up with the different roles that can fit them well. After doing minutes and a few seconds of research on different D&D websites and fucking around with the character class Wikipedias, I think I have come up with the perfect roles classes for Donald and Goofy. Imagine
He's done it.
Donald Duck, classic Kingdom Hearts Donald Duck, the blue wizard hat, the famous blue sailor's outfit with a custom white accents, the red fucking bow tie, that Donald Duck. Imagine now that his hat, outfit, and bow tie were gone, right? You're probably thinking to yourself, Exit, that's just a fucking naked duck, you perverted asshole. Well, I'm not finished. We'll get back to him. Now imagine Goofy. Good old bonerific Goofy Goof. The sexy black fur, those droopy fucking ears, the two chiseled buck teeth.
Yeah. I see it.
The three short, pullable, rambunctious hairs on his beautiful head, that handsome fucking smile, that dreamy smile to make the fellas screaming and creaming. Editor's note, I might be or might not be hard. That goofy little goof. Now imagine that green turtleneck off, the yellow pants off with that hard to get off thick black hat. Belts, not hat. Belts.
96, no.
A naked fucking Goofy Goober Goof Troop alley-oop scoop him off my feet and fuck me please Goofy yes cough cough. Anyways, imagine him nude. Now, both Donald and Goofy with human clothes, with human features, with sexy human hair and spunky glasses.
No.
Now I'm adding things together at will to get this awesome spectacular vision into your skull pieces. Now imagine them in human form, both full of humor, both of them, let's say, like the Burger King logo, maybe a little too much. Both maybe awesome podcasters.
Oh no.
Maybe Donald got his name changed to Jason and Goofy changed his name to Mike and started a revolution together as the Ansem Report podcast. I don't know. Just a little idea I had, and I think it'd be an awesome small change to both Donald and Goofy as source support. We all, I think, could agree that is the answer, is the right and only answer.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Fucking Zach, dude. You never disappoint, man.
So his answer is us naked. Okay, cool.
Well, no, he put clothes on him. He put clothes on him.
He said human clothes? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Zach never disappoints me because that question answer started off really normal.
Yeah.
He's like, seeing them over time be their classes. It's really hard to imagine something different, and then it just descended into.
We'll come back to that.
the kind of answer that Zach can have. We love you, Zach. Thank you.
True. Funny as fuck.
Orpheus Joshua. Shout out to Orpheus Joshua. Says,
Jay.
Make Donald a dancer, because why not? He can seduce enemies with his movements. Thief class would also fit him reasonably well because he's an asshole. Goofy could be a monk, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe the Vor class, considering how big his mouth is. Swallow enemies whole. Yes.
No.
My favorite class to play in Final Fantasy XIV. The Vor class.
I'm level 55 Vor.
Actually, in Final Fantasy IX, Quina is kind of a Vor class.
I don't know who that is.
Quina's the frog lady thing. And she's like a blue mage, and so she swallows enemies to learn their...
Oh my god, she Vors them?
Well, she has like a fork and like a knife as her...
Oh my god.
Yeah, so she's kind of a Vor class. Finally, we have Scary Trees 2 answering the question of the week. First of all, this is my third time answering the question of the week, but the previous answers got lost in the Mog Mail or YouTube comments. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been bad about reading YouTube comments on time.
Ooh.
So here's my first time answering.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to blame the Mooguses. Yeah, they brought the mail too late.
It was the Moogus mail, for sure. I feel like the reason they don't have customizable jobs because that's already addressed with the other Disney randos that join occasionally, but I would make Goofy a scholar. Because he went to college that one time, and Donald can be like a monk or ninja or something that gives him back the John Cheadle voice box.
What the?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for answering the question of the week. That was a lot of new faces this week.
Yeah.
In the question of the week. And I really appreciate that.
And missing a lot of old ones. I know who you fucking are.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know who you fucking are.
I knew it.
That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, Jason, what's your answer to this question?
Dude, my answer was already like pretty much fucking stolen, but I got a bit of detail added to mine to make it a little bit more spicy. Okay? So Goofy, he's a motherfucking Dragoon, bitch. Because, you know, Dragoon is the fucking coolest class in Final Fantasy, right? And at the beginning, when Goofy gets his Dragoon, like he changes class, and then like there'll be like cutscene, and he's like, "What the yuck?" Like, right? Mm-hmm. And at first, it's more like the spear, like moves him type thing, right? Where he's kind of just like holding on, flying on the spear, right? Like it's doing like a jump move where you jump way up and then comes down, slamming down. But like he's like holding on, like like he's gonna fly off the spear, right? But then, like, at some critical point, he comes in like a fucking shooting star comet coming down to like destroy Roxas, a massive fucking Heartless. Yeah, exactly like that. So that would be Goofy. He'd be fucking badass. And then Donald, I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to make him not magic-based because he already is. But I still want him to be magic-based. I want him to be a summoner.
Oh, like Yuna?
Yeah, like he calls in like
Lady Donald.
He has like fucking like Ifrit and shit that he could call in.
That'd be cool.
It'd be fucking sick.
That'd be cool.
It'd be fucking sick.
I agree. I would like Goofy to be a monk.
Okay.
Or I guess not a monk. That's wrong. But like a fighter who is skilled in hand-to-hand combat.
A pugilist.
I don't like that term because that just means boxer to me. Where like I want Goofy kicking people and I want him punching people. I want him using like a pugilist is like a boxer to me.
Right. Okay. I can see that.
He's more of a kung fu master.
He's a martial artist.
So he's a monk, but I don't want him to be all like, oh, I am Zen with the world. Like I don't want that part of it. So he's like a fighter, like a MMA fighter.
Okay. Yeah, just fucking scrapping.
Basically, I want Goofy to look like Chuck Liddell with the mohawk and in the shorts and like the MMA gloves, and I want him just to yuck some people up.
Okay.
Also, Donald. I like the summoner idea. That's actually really cool. Because like he could like, you could give him like a shit ton of summons and then not give Sora any, and then it would be like, Donald's your summoner, you know?
Yeah.
But I think for Donald, personally, I want him to be like a marksman.
Ooh.
I want you to give Donald, like the meme where Donald has the gun, I want you to give Donald multiple different kinds of guns and air bows and crossbows and lasers and all kinds of shit that he can just shoot at anybody at any time.
Yeah.
That's what I want for Donald.
Dude, like when I think of like the Donald like summoner thing, like like in Kingdom Hearts 1 when you like beat a Coliseum and there's the one where he's like got his arms like crossed or whatever. It's like that. And then like it kind of does like the fucking Ifrite summon where like the ground he's standing on like raises up and then it's like on fire and like that's what I imagine.
Okay. I like it.
It'd be fucking badass.
I like your vision quest, dude. I hope Nomura does it someday. Next week's question of the week, Jason, we're going to switch gears a little bit. And this is one we've been saving for a little bit because we don't want to spoil anybody on Melody Memory. But I think it's been a while. It's been almost a month. I think we can let you guys talk about spoilers now in the question of the week. So I will say, if you don't want to be spoiled, and I'll put this in the Discord too, but maybe stay away from the question of the week this week. But I think it's been a while. I think we can do this now. So VIP214, built different, says, this one would be full of spoilers, so be warned. What does the ending of Melody of Memory mean for the future of the games to you? Essentially, what's your theory on what will happen next?
Hell yeah, I like it.
Since, we talked about that with Damo a little bit today.
Yeah.
So, basically,
maybe people will be inspired.
I didn't want people to steal my ideas before I could say them on air.
Right.
Now I said them, so whatever.
Right.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching and answering the question of the week and leaving reviews and doing everything you guys do every day. We appreciate you. I will say,
around the world.
If you're listening to this on Friday, the day it comes out, Friday tonight at 5:30 Eastern, EST, Eastern Standard Time, I will be competing in a Ribbit King Froth tournament on our good friend Tatsumaki's Twitch channel.
Yeah.
I will also be commenting on all the first round matches as like a color commentator.
Yeah.
Which is going to be funny because I don't know anything about froth or golf. So do you guys remember, I mean, this might be an old reference, but do you guys remember when they put Dennis Miller on Monday Night Football as a color commentator? He's like a comedian. And they were like, let's just have this comedian be a color commentator, even though he has like no like experience in like coaching football or playing football or whatever. And it was a disaster. It's kind of going to be like that.
Ooh.
I'm Dennis Miller, but it's going to be fun. So I hope you guys will please tune in to that. It's at 5:30 Eastern on twitch.tv/Tatsumaki. It will be in the Discord as well. If you're seeing this and going, oh, where is that? It will be posted in the Discord. And come cheer me on when I compete. I'm going to give Odessa the business. She's going to go down.
He's going to need the spirit bomb,
I'm
guys.
going to need some spirit bomb.
He has not played, as of right now, he's not played a single second of Froth.
I have not played 1 second of Froth. And they kept trying to goad me into playing practice matches on like Tatsu's stream and stuff. And I was like, no, I don't want any of you fuckers to scout me. I'm not giving anybody.
He's the wild card. No one knows.
Yeah, no one knows. Even though BioRoxas is kind of stealing my thunder because I don't think he's played either. Because he doesn't have time.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
I have time. I just chose not to. Anyway, So come check that out. And also just check us out on twitch.tv/SuperSpikeGhetti whenever you got time. We've been streaming. Jason's been playing Final Fantasy 14. We've been playing Persona 5 Royal together. It's been fun. And then there's other things, Kingdom Hearts things too. So come check us out. Anyway, thank you everybody for everything you do. We appreciate you. We will see you guys next week for episode 97. We are getting ever closer to episode 100. Don't forget to answer the question of the month. That's all I gotta say. Jason, hit him with it.
May your heart be your guiding key.
Thank you.
Fuck off.